No, no, no. Cut the check and pay me what you want me. No more pants can talk, nah, nah, nah. No more pants can talk, blah, blah, nah. Cut the check and pay me what you want me. No more pants can talk, nah, nah, nah. No more pants can talk, blah, blah, blah. You stole us, you sold us, you owe us. It's my money and I want it now. It's my money and I can spend it high. You pocket watching, stop pocket watching. Cause my pocket's popping. You watch us get raided and you watch us get slaved. Now watch us get paid. Cut the check and pay me what you owe me. No more pants can talk, nah, nah, nah. No more pants can talk, nah, nah, nah. Cut the check and pay me what you owe me. No more pants can talk, nah, nah, nah. No more pants can talk, blah, blah, blah. You stole us, you sold us, you owe us. It's my money and I want it now. It's my money and I can spend it high. You pocket watching, stop pocket watching. Cause my pocket's popping. You watch us get raided and you watch us get slaved there. Now watch us get paid. No, no, no. And you watch us get slaved. Now watch us get paid. Cut the check and pay me what you owe me. No more pants can talk, nah, nah, nah. No more pants can talk, nah, nah, nah. Cut the check and pay me what you owe me. No more pants can talk, nah, nah, nah. No more pants can talk, blah, blah, blah. You stole us, you sold us, you owe us. It's my money and I want it now. It's my money and I can spend it high. You pocket watching, stop pocket watching. Cause my pocket's popping. You watch us get raided and you watch us get slaved there. Now watch us get paid. You stole us, you sold us, you owe us. It's my money and I want it now. It's my money and I can spend it high. You pocket watching, stop pocket watching. Cause my pocket's popping. You watch us get raided and you watch us get slaved now. Now watch us get paid.
What am I telling them? Come on now. If I'm saying something wrong, huh? Boule, y'all fall under the black boule. Okay, you just saying. Okay. FBA's a boule. Okay, you just saying shit. Okay, that's say shitism. Yeah, he's just in there saying shit. Hey, there's nobody, I'm not boule. No, we're not boule. We're just telling truth to power. You're just saying stuff. We owe ourselves. We don't owe nobody nothing. We don't owe nobody nothing because we had to get it out the mud on our own, ladies and gentlemen. Lineage protection, that's a form of self-respect. If we preserve foundational Black American lineage, that's not arrogance, that's self-respect. We honor our unique contributions of our ancestors. They endured slavery, they built America, they created new cultural identities, fought for civil rights. We are morally required to give praises and props to our foundational Black American ancestors. I'm not about to sit up here and give props to a tribe that sold part of my lineage. No, we're not obligated to do that. You know that? And some of these native tribes who were selling us too, all right? Because that's another conversation, especially those so-called civilized tribes. Oh, we can get into that too. Some of these damn red native tribes that some Black people like to kind of claim onto, some of them were trying to sell us too. That's another conversation though. That's why I don't really give props to them either, even though we got lineage from them. We got some ancestry from them. Some of them tribes, they started letting the white tea supremacists in these tribes, and they start kicking all the Black members out, and then the tribes got busted up, dissolved, and remixed, and now these tribes are looking like a clan meeting. You got these lily white Europeans as tribal chiefs. When the casino money starts coming in, now all of them look like damn Justin Timberlake. But that's a whole different conversation. I'm giving props and praises to the foundational Black Americans. You understand? See, the erasure that they're trying to do on us is intentional. They're deliberately trying to erase us. This is why they have to Africanize us. I want y'all to understand the con game. If they sit here and Africanize us, everything that we create, it just gets chopped up to Africa, meaning that we're going to be invisible. That's why they come over here and start talking about we ain't got a culture, because we've given everything to them. Every time we do something, it's like, okay, well, we started R&B because there was a drum in the bushes 2,000 years ago, and we got R&B from a tribe. And no. We got no. Now the R&B was created on this land. Blues was created on this land. Hip hop created on this land. Jazz created on this land. Soul food created on this land. You understand? The inventions that the world benefit from, it started on this land because we were the workers, we were the forced labor. We had to come up with ways to make our jobs easier. It wasn't the white tea supremacists. They weren't working like that. They were supervising. We were the ones coming up with a lot of the early innovations. Come on now. By necessity. Come on now. Listen, man. We're the only group whose entire cultural identity family has been routinely absorbed and co-opted and renamed and erased by other groups. Our music, slang, civil rights history, people are constantly trying to rebrand FBA contributions. They'll try to Pan-Africanize it, Caribbeanize it, or make it some generic Black achievement. But so it's up to us to really take control of the narrative of other people are good. They're just going to try to rewrite things to suit their own agenda. That's why we did the movie Microphone Check. We had to do the movie Microphone Check because you had these Puerto Ricans going around here talking about, well, we not only did we create hip hop 50-50 with the Blacks, truth be told, where they were really going with the conversation was that they really created it. That's where they were going with it. You know, when Fat Joe was running around here, 50-50, we created hip hop 50-50, Blacks and Puerto Ricans. That was just the tip of the iceberg. Where they were really going to go. See, if we let them get away with that, the next step was to say, well, we Puerto Ricans are the ones who really started it, and the Blacks really got it from us. That's where they were going. I'm telling you, that's where they were going, because they were low-key saying that on the slick. They were low-key saying that on the slick. Okay, Drama, you're trolling. Drama, you are trolling, sir. You're trolling, Drama. Let's stop it. You're trolling for attention. So yeah, they were about to go there. Then they start making up lies about some of the pioneers who were really Black, but they were saying they were Puerto Rican. They were just straight out lying. So we had to shut that down. And luckily we did. We shut that all the way down. We shut it all the way down. Yeah. But we sat up here with that, yeah, Black and brown, we all did it together. Man, we got to stop doing that. We don't have to be afraid to say, hey, this is something that foundational Black Americans created. We get scared that there's going to be pushback, which there is, but that's fine. That's a them problem. Just like with the tethers. We're saying, hey, why don't you can do your own thing. We're going to recognize our lineage and really focus on uplifting our lineage here because it's not been done. And they just run around having hissy fits, lying, trying to reframe our lineage. That's a form of disrespect. When they try to reframe our lineage as a group, this is a head group, it is not a lineage. I'm going to redefine it. You're a head group with a leader. That's them showing disrespect to all 43 million plus foundational Black Americans. That's just an extension of their disrespect. That's all that is. Yeah. I want y'all to understand, you can't repair a community without acknowledging the blueprint. See, the blueprint for every modern Black struggle in America was laid by foundational Black Americans, from the abolition movement, civil rights movement, artistic innovation. Foundational Black Americans, we paved the way for immigrants, the so-called allies, progressives, everybody. Listen, when they just did that whole No Kings rally, they were really trying to recreate our civil rights movement. They're using our slogans. Notice when they do their marches and rallies, they're out there chanting our stuff, singing our songs, we shall overcome. They're doing all of our stuff. They're taking things from our playbook. They try to mimic our movements. It don't hit the same if we ain't out there. Yeah, if we ain't out there, it ain't really hitting the same. So listen, protecting foundational Black American lineage, man, it really heals generational trauma. See, when you embrace and protect your unique lineage, that's a form of ancestral healing. That's why we're getting so powerful right now. I'm telling you, the delineation movement for foundational Black Americans, this Renaissance movement, you see how powerful it is. People are acting a fool out here. It's a powerful delineation movement going on right now because it's rooted in our ancestral spirit and it's ancestral healing. And when you give props and love and praise to the ancestors, they will be there for you and they will look out for you. And that's what we're doing. And this is what we're seeing. You understand? We're healing those psychological scars by giving props and praises to these phenomenal foundational Black Americans who the world is lifted up by. These wonderful ancestors that we've had who lived through us, they still live through us, and we carry on their legacy. These were the most culturally important people in modern history. This is why the world emulates foundational Black Americans. We have the world emulating us, and we didn't have to fire a shot, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't have to colonize anybody. Just our spiritual energy and our uniqueness has the world emulating foundational Black Americans. That is power, ladies and gentlemen. And we give that power to these other groups who don't appreciate it. We sit up here and be on some, all of us are Black and we all the same. So yeah, you can share our legacy. And then we have clowns like the Cynthia Rivos who have disdain for our lineage, who's talked crap about our lineage, who's mocked foundational Black American women, playing one of our foundational Black American icons. That ain't by accident. They get these people to get up in these movies to play our icons, and they do it as a form of disrespect, ladies and gentlemen. They know what it is. They know that they're doing that as a form of disrespect. Let me tell you something. Going into the movie thing, when we, foundational Black Americans, play icons, it hits different, don't it? It really hits different. It hits different. When Roots was being made, a lot of people, our good brother John Amos, who played, who's the dad from Good Time, with the legendary John Amos, when he was on the set of Roots in the 70s, they were filming on actual plantations. That ancestral energy hit him. He had a breakdown on the plantation. That happened to a lot of our foundational Black American actors and actresses. They got on the plantations and that ancestral energy hit them. And they got overwhelmed. They had breakdowns. What's his name? The brother from The Wire, Michael. What's his name? He passed. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He was in 12 Years a Slave. Y'all throw his name in there, family. What was his name? Because he filmed They filmed, I think, down there in Louisiana. They filmed down there in Louisiana. What was that brother's name? Michael K. Williams. Yeah, he had a breakdown. They had to console him on the set when they were filming on the plantation. He too had a breakdown. That ancestral energy hits you. Have y'all been to one of the plantations in Louisiana? I took my mother down because we filmed one of my movies down there. And I took the family down there, and y'all can see some of the footage online. And my mother, she was getting real overwhelmed. It was really, 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 really hitting her. We had to get her up out of there. It was really hitting her. I've been to the plantations before, so I draw the rebellious energy from there. So it hits me different, because I process the energy to say, hey, I'm going to uplift and maintain the integrity and the spirit of these ancestors. So I understand the mission that those ancestors gave me. But yeah, my mother was so overwhelmed, boy, it was hitting her. It was hitting her heavy. And yeah, I love Louisiana. I love going down there. I love going down there, getting that ancestral energy. It's like a recharge for me. Yeah, it's powerful. It's powerful. But I say that to say this, going back into the movie thing. See, a lot of them, they'll get these actors who are non-FBA because the energy ain't going to really hit them the same way. When they portray these characters, that energy is not going to transfer to us the same way. It'll entertain the white audience, but it's not going to energize the black audiences. For example, Roots, let me tell you something. When Roots came out in the late 70s, that energized foundational black Americans. When I remember seeing Roots as a kid. How many of y'all remember seeing Roots as a child? I remember seeing that. It was on ABC. Remember, Roots, this was on network television. It was on ABC. It was a special. How many, raise your hand if you're old enough to remember seeing Roots on television as a child?
Family, I'm going to play the debate shortly. Let's get enough likes in here. Get enough likes. I'm going to play the exchange. It's interesting, all right? I'm going to weigh in what I know on this slave ship. So get the likes up. I'll play the debate.
Nigga, when I saw Roots, I went to school. Nigga, it was up with the white T boys. I wasn't taking no shit. Do you understand? Me and my buddies, dude, after I saw Roots, me and the little homies, we weren't taking nothing. I'm telling you, that changed our collective trajectory. In the late 70s, early 80s, we weren't taking no shit from these people. Come on now. Who grew up in the 80s? Who grew up in the 80s? We didn't take no shit from these people at all. You didn't have the white boys running around here talking, using the N-word like all casually like now. We didn't play that. We didn't have none of that back then. Your little white friend, hey, my nigga, what's on? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, it wasn't that kind of party back then. Yeah, y'all, I don't know. Y'all do that now? I don't know. Y'all do that now. No. That was a major no. Oh, you get stomped. Let one of these folks come up in one of our neighborhoods on some bullshit. Man, please. 70s and 80s? They weren't, no. They weren't running up on us. Man, we got together and put in work. Yeah, Roots energized a lot of us. Roots really, really energized a lot of us. Heavy. You understand that energy? We got to avenge that. That movie and some of those FBA actors portraying those roles, man, that sent a certain level of energy to us. You understand? That energized us. That transferred a lot of that energy to us. So that made us real conscious and radical to a certain degree. You see? And certain movies, when we have FBA actors and actresses portraying iconic foundational Black American figures, it hits different, but it hits a different way when a non-FBA is playing somebody. Y'all know that movie they did, what was that movie, Freedom? What was that movie they did, was it Selma? Where it wasn't good. They did this movie, Common was in it. I think it was, what was the movie called? Where they had the African dude playing Dr. King. Was the movie called Freedom? They had the song Free. What was that movie, guy? Was it Selma? Was the movie called, it was Selma? That shit was trash, wasn't it? We didn't feel that movie. It's one of the movies that we don't even think about. That's not a hood classic. That's not a movie that we gravitate to. There's certain hood classic movies that we just gravitate to. Five Heartbeats is one of them. Friday, The Temptations. There's just certain movies that we can almost recite line for line. That movie, you can't remember one line from that movie. It was a bunch of tethers playing our icons. It didn't hit. That movie didn't hit. Now, what hit was Malcolm with Spike Lee, FBA, Denzel, FBA. Man, that hit. Even brother Denzel, he was like, hey, man, when the camera was rolling, a spirit just got to me because Denzel grew up in New York, where Malcolm was. So Denzel was like, hey, man, I'm doing my lines and something just took over me. The spirit hit me. And I just kind of went where the spirit was. Denzel slaughtered that role. You understand?
All right, let's get into it. Wait, let me see the likes first. Let's see the likes. Got 80 people watching. We should have 80 something likes. We'll get into the debate. We got 38 likes. Family, what's going on here? Y'all want to listen to the exchange with some unbiased RON commentary and fact checking, or what we doing? 85 people watching, only 38 likes. All right, let's get the likes up, and we're gonna do the exchange with Tariq and I guess an Indigenous Black who don't believe the slave ships ever happened.
Also, when Angela Bassett and Larry Fishburne did Ike and Tina, dude, we still recite lines from that movie to this day. Just the energy, that energy was there. It was so realistic because you're of the ancestry. So it's a realistic thing. So it's very important that we elevate and portray and keep the narrative going of our icons, because the energy is different when we bring forth that energy. We are transferring that energy from a very authentic place. You know what I'm saying? It's coming from a very authentic place when somebody of the lineage is playing the role. You know, you're Jamie doing Ray, the phenomenal. That's why my brother got an Oscar. And he sat down with Ray. Ray taught him the game. Ray taught him his mannerisms and everything. Yeah, that genetic memory. So yeah, you tap in. We tap in with the same energy. So there's an ancestral respect there. You understand? Even The Color Purple, even though there's some bullshit in there, but yeah, there was an authenticity there with the actors and the actresses. You understand? Who's that? Somebody said Cynthia Erivo is better than, okay. She said, okay, that's a troll page. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's why in the Godfather movies, who they get? They get Italians. They get the Italians to play these roles. They have the ancestral memory. That's why they do better. Now, Denzel made a very good point. Denzel, he was doing an interview, and he was talking about ethnic groups and different races of people playing certain roles. And he said, you know what? It's really about culture. He said, like, with Martin Scorsese, he could have got an Anglo actor or whatever to play in some of those Italian mafia movies or whatever. But, you know, you get somebody who's Italian, so they understand the nuances a little better. They understand the culture better. And he was talking about black culture. He was like, a black person, you know the little nuances of black culture a little bit more. You know the smell of a hot comb on a Sunday morning, grits cooking. You know, there's certain things that you know, certain feelings, certain flavors, that little nuances that we know.
Put the lights up so I can play the exchange. Come on, man. I'm excited to go into the discussion on slave ships, whether they happen or not, and the available information to either prove such an event happened, you dig, or it didn't. But the lights got to get up. Like that's just like look, just like a like is free, right? Like the video. I'm not asking for a cash app or a super chat. Just like the video, and let's get this. Let's get the show going.
That we as foundational Black Americans, we can pick up on. Like, have y'all seen my Bucci Bear animation series? A lot of people like, and we got to do some new Bucci Bear animations. For those who don't know, I got an animation series called The Adventures of Bucci Bear. It's very, very funny. It's on YouTube. Look up the Bucci Bear cartoons. And the Bucci Bear cartoons, very, very funny. We did one skit. There's a character that everybody loves, Percy Earl. Everybody loves the Percy Earl character. The Percy Earl is an elderly foundational Black American who's a Democrat. So there's a lot of nuances about Percy Earl that you would have to be from the culture to really understand, and it's very funny. There's certain things that you got to be from FBA culture to understand. You understand? There's a scene where, in one of the animations, where Percy Earl was like fixing his fence and he was in his front yard singing a Johnny Taylor song. So that's some shit you got to be from the culture to get that, to get the joke. You know, he was singing Disco Lady. So you got to be from the culture to really get that. You know? And there was another scene where he was working on his friend's car, and he was like, I'm gonna pour some Coca-Cola on the alternator, so you start it. So that's little nuances like that. You know, them shade tree mechanics down in the South. That's something that you gotta, you know, you're from the culture, you'll get that. Them shade tree mechanics be doing a little nigger rigging of the car. You understand? So little nuances like that, you have to be from the culture to really fully get it. You know? So I throw little stuff in there that's very funny. And in fact, one of the last episode, I think it was the last episode of the Bucci Bear, there was a scene where Percy Earl had to confront the Whispers, because he used to be in the Whispers and they kicked him out because he kept hogging the mic. And then there was a scene where he got in a fight with Walter and Scotty. And what's funny, and that's one of my favorite episodes, when he was fighting the Whispers. And the Whispers, and because when my boy Nick, that's I think those are his uncles or something like that. He showed it to them and they loved it. So the Whispers loved it. They actually, Walter and Scotty, and then RIP to one of the brothers who passed, but he said he showed it to them and they thought it was funny as hell. Yeah. But just understanding our culture. The point is, family, it's very important for us as foundational Black Americans to not feel guilty about protecting our lineage, because nobody's going to do it. We have to do that.
30 more likes away, and I can play the video, the exchange, where we're gonna see if the slave ships happen or not. But we gotta get the likes up. 30 more likes, and we're there.
You understand? And doing selective solidarity, that's kind of a trap. Real unity starts with respect. See, a lot of these same groups who want to tell us, well, we all got to unite, they get real selective with their solidarity. See, they'll embrace foundational Black American culture when it benefits them. But when we said, hey, we need reparations, all of a sudden it's these same people telling us we shouldn't get it, and they're sabotaging it. See, we got to be very real. So we got to get rid of that guilt. We got to protect our
And also
our
follow me on
lineage.
TikTok. Follow me on
That's
TikTok. I'll
we're
follow you
setting
back.
a healthy standard
Let's
for
go to
mutual
TikTok account so I
respect.
can invade
See
TikTok
that
world.
guilt, we get off that guilt thing. That guilt that some people feel about centering their culture. That's the white supremacists make you feel guilty because see they reinforce the buffer classes who benefit from foundational Black Americans being passive. See that guilt thing, that's used to weaken resistance. That's used to silence our cultural pride. So you let go of that damn guilt. There's not one thing wrong with you giving props and praises and protection to your lineage. Revenue, you say, Revenue, you taking your wins back, Revenue? Hilarious. What's your wins, Revenue? All right. Let me see. All right, y'all raise your hand. Let's raise your hands.
Yeah, speaking of revenue, he claims that he beat me in some debates. I was like, bro, please copy that transcript and put it in AI and let me know about any debate you won against me. And I said, it's going to, whatever you put in there, you put in 10 debates we had, it's going to be 0-10. Yeah, zero for you. Okay. Revenue don't know how to debate. He don't know how to listen. He don't know how to rebuttal. He just goalpost change. And matter of fact, I want him to call back in. Let's finish that discussion about what did Blacks call themselves in the early 1800s. You said African. I said everything but African. Let's talk. Let's talk. Okay. One thing you don't want to do with me is talk about something and then do a part two. Yeah, I did follow-up research, my boy. I was just winging it. Yeah, so call in revenue. Let's finish that discussion on what we called ourselves collectively during the early 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s, late 1900s, all the way to now.
All right, Panama Fresh. Okay, yo, family, when y'all have Panama Fresh, get up because you're going to get up out of here. Okay, hold on. Let me talk to my moderators for a minute. Panama Fresh, you got 2 seconds to get in here or you up out of here. Family, where are my mods? Are my mods in here? When y'all see people like Panama Fresh using certain language, because I'm not really looking at the screen, I'm just kind of vibing. When y'all see people like Panama Fresh using,
Family, we had 109 total views and only had like 80 likes. So yeah, like the likes is staying 30 down. Let's put the likes up so we can go into the discussion on whether slave shit's happening or not. Like, let's find it out. Right? Let's see what Tariq and the guy went over with, and let's see what I came up with. Let's see what I found. Unbiased RON.
very derogatory language in the room. Can y'all get him out, please? When people are putting up slurs and things like that in the room, y'all got to get him up out of here, fam. Yeah, get him up out of here. Yeah, let's get this stuff straight. All right, there you go. Yeah, because he's typing stuff and yeah. So we got to be very cool. Yeah, the Supreme dude, get him out of here too. Yeah, if I say get on and you saying stuff in the chat room and I say get on and you don't get on, you getting your ass up out of here. We getting you up out of here. We're gonna get this thing cleaned up. All right, mods, we got to start modding. We got to get this mod thing together. All right,
Yeah.
Michael, you gonna get up out of here too. Let's get Michael up out of here too. You get.
Hey, I like that analogy by Marlo. He said not hitting the like button is like walking in an FBA home and not speaking. You know that's taboo. You cannot do that. You'll be told to leave immediately.
Get up out of here, Mike. We're gonna get you up out of here too. We're gonna send you to bushmeat land, Michael. We're gonna get you up out of here. All right, we're not gonna have that. Yeah, we're gonna just start. Yeah, I got him out. There you go. So yeah, you're not gonna be you're not just gonna be saying stuff and not getting on the phone and saying what you need to say. All right. All right. Okay, now let's get some people in here. Raise the hands, family. All right, let's chop it up with the family. Y'all raise those hands. Let's see Keisha. Let's see what Keisha's talking about. Miss Keisha.
Hello.
Hey, Keisha, how are you?
So I have a question for you, Tariq. Why are you okay with disrespecting Africans, but you've utilized their intellect and knowledge to produce your films?
What was their knowledge that I utilized?
Well, for part one, a Yoruba brother by the name of Ola Ayin Ukuola, he helped produce Hidden Colors. So you're
Yes.
using their expertise and knowledge, but you're calling them bush meat eaters, tether babble, all that. Why is that?
Ola's not a bushmeat eater. That's my right hand man. He's Nigerian. That's my right hand man.
Okay, so you make excuses for the Africans that you can derive stuff off of, like knowledge.
Like what? Like what
Like
knowledge did I derive? Like what? You haven't told me, sweetie.
he produced your film. He helped produce your film. So obviously he had some type of knowledge and intellect to help you out in that area. Do I have to walk you through it? How
You
movie
want to do
production
it?
works? You know more than me in this area. Oh, sorry.
Keisha?
Tether babble, my bad.
Okay, because you're not in a rush. I'm not rushing you, sweetie. We're gonna take our time. Take your time. I'm not muting you. You just rush. I got you. But if you ask me something, I would like to answer. You want to do it like that, or what? What we doing?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, calm down. Let's slow walk. Let's dance. I'm here with you, Keisha. I'm here, dear. I'm here. But yeah, my brother Ola, that's my right hand man. He's a Nigerian brother. He helped with a lot of the technical stuff, but the knowledge stuff, that was me doing all the research. So it was my knowledge. It was history from my point of view. I did the treatment for the film and laid out everything and all the talking points. So this was my knowledge, beloved. Okay, see how that works? Yeah, he did a lot of
He still
technical
helped
stuff.
produce.
And that's my right hand guy. He did a lot of technical stuff as far as the crew and getting everybody the camera crew and just a lot. That's my right hand man. That's my guy. He's not a bushmeat babbler. You're not a bushmeat babbler just because you're African. You're not a tether because you're African. And you're Jamaican, right, Keisha?
No, I'm obviously African American. I'm a Black American. That was real funny what you just tried to do. No, I'm a very proud African American. My people have been here since the late 1800s. So
Really?
yeah, really.
Because if you lie about one thing, you lie about something else.
I've never lied. What did I lie about, Tariq?
You just lied and said that I got Africans' intellect from my movies, and that was a blatant lie. So if you lie about something that big, you'll lie about anything else, dear.
I said you utilize African intellect and knowledge to help produce Hidden Colors,
Which
and you
ain't
just
true.
admitted you did.
Which
You just
ain't
admitted
true.
you did.
And you just lied again, dear. So you're a liar. I don't even believe you're telling the truth. You just proved you're a liar.
You. Just,
Lakeisha, you're lying, dear.
my name is not Lakeisha.
I didn't say Lakeisha. I didn't say Lakeisha. I just said Keisha. Why are you lying, dear? You're not being honest, Keisha.
Tariq. Okay, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Oh, you gotta look up some more lies or something. What are you doing, dear?
No, I'm not looking up lies. I'm not looking up lies.
What are you doing, Keisha?
I'm just saying I haven't lied about anything. You said you use his technical knowledge.
Yeah, now you're just trying to. Okay,
produce
ma'am,
the film.
Keisha, let it go, sweetie. You lied. You got caught. Let's move on. Let it go, sweetie. Do you be lying?
Okay.
Keisha, do you be lying to niggas at the club? You be at the club now?
No, I have a man. Happily.
So, did you
Moving
lie to
on.
him? Did you lie to him?
No, moving on. Did you work with John Tanton ever?
Who the hell is that?
Okay, no. Okay, that's
Who the
fine.
hell is-
Just a no is okay.
Who the hell is that?
Just a no is okay.
Okay,
You
but
could've just
okay, let
said
me ask y'all this. Y'all be on TikTok. What's with y'all be bringing up random names? You're like, do you know Jelly Roll Jenkins? Because I heard Jelly Roll sent you to me. Well, who? Y'all be naming these random ass people who I don't have no idea about. I think y'all be in these rooms lying to each other so much, y'all start believing them. I don't know. Okay, but go ahead. Who is that
I
person?
just asked you. I just asked you, and you said you didn't know him. So
No,
I
why
mean,
would,
that's
okay,
that.
that was random. That's random as hell. Who is this random
No,
person?
it's not random. He runs an anti-immigration network, and it's rumored that you did work with him. But if you're
Rumor.
denying that, then I believe
Rumor.
you. I believe you,
Rumor
Tariq.
about who? Who the hell would tell a lie like that? Ain't no
By
rumor. That's not no rumor. That's some tether
by
lie. That ain't.
people who. Okay.
That's not a rumor. That's
Okay.
a tether lie. That's some shit that a tether would say. Come on now. Okay, sweetie. Keisha.
Tariq.
Keisha, where you from for real,
Listen to
sweetie?
me, Ricky.
Where you from? Where
I've
you from?
talked to
Where
you
you
before,
from?
and I gave you a rundown of my whole lineage. I'm not gonna do this whole
Wait
you're
a
a
minute.
tether. I
Wait a
ain't got
minute.
no reason to lie. If I'm from Jamaica, I say I'm from Jamaica. What I got to lie for, Tariq? Come on now.
We talk on Twitter. Are you the girl from Detroit?
No, we have not talked on Twitter.
I don't remember talking to you.
Oh no, we talked on TikTok before. I've come up on your panel before and we talked.
Okay, 'cause it's like a tether blur. But
No,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
So
your lineage is not here, dear.
can I ask you other questions before you go all FBA investigatory on me? Can I ask you other questions, please?
No, because you're doing all the T's, so you're just time wasting for clout, and I'm not going to give it to you,
I'm not.
Keisha. So I'm gonna let you go back and go fry you up some bammy because you sound like you Jamaican or something. Okay. No, you just sitting here lying. Is she Trinidadian? Okay. Somebody says she's Trinidadian. Yeah, you're not just coming. Yeah, the tethers. That's one of the reasons why people are delineating. People are delineating because of all them damn lies. All right? That's one of the reasons why. All right, let's get. Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? I'm trying to get this person here. All right. Oh, it's her husband. Her husband is African. Oh, I see a lot of that too. Yeah, she done got caught in a couple of lies.
Hey, family, there's a lot
Oh,
of
so
that.
she has a
There's a lot. I don't know what is it that if you date outside of FBA, you have to automatically be against FBA. I don't know what that's about, but this is why some of us be like, hey man, we should just date within the lineage because I don't want to be a gatekeeper of who you date, but it seems like a lot of times y'all date outside the lineage and y'all be anti-lineage. It's crazy.
an African husband. Okay. Yeah, she start lying and giggling. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and wasting time now. All right. Yeah, I noticed that a lot of these women, they'll be like, well, we all got to be together and everybody got to love. Okay. Well, what's all that about? Well, we talk about us being FBAs.
And I gotta say, it comes from both men and women, but it normally, from my experience, it normally comes from our FBA sisters. Normally, like all of the exchanges I had is FBA sisters caping for their hateful, possible, suspected tether significant other. Yeah, man. So we gotta tighten up. Any FBA men is doing that. Tighten up, man. If y'all want to date outside the lineage, you still can be honest. Why you gotta hate on FBA, yourself just to promote the significant other, and y'all could easily split. You dig? Yeah, what happens if y'all split? What happens if he becomes toxic and start beating on you? Then what? Now you're back with the lineage. Nah, like we're gonna remember that, and we're not gonna forgive or forget. We're gonna excommunicate. I mean, you're still FBA, but we're gonna excommunicate you. I'm not forgiving or forgetting nobody who ride against the lineage.
We exclude people. Okay, who you married to? Dudu Tunde? But that don't matter. Okay, there you go. You're protecting your husband, ma'am. Okay. You feel like you got to protect your husband. All right, you better make sure he didn't put a damn elephant on layaway with your credit card. You better make sure your money's straight. Who is this person? Okay, let me see who we got. All right, y'all want to get on? Everybody raise your hand. Yeah. If you're ready to get on, everybody raise your hand. Let me get some new faces in here. Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see. And y'all have something to talk about when I bring you up now. When I bring you up, have something to talk about. All right. Let's get, hold on. There's a lot of people. Hold on. What's this? Let's go to the Pattern Network. Let's try the Pattern Network. Let's see what that's about. The Pattern Network, hop on in.
Hello,
What's up, Pattern?
how's it going?
I'm
From the
good, Mr.
UK.
Pattern. I'm good. You're in the UK?
Yeah, I'm not.
Are you?
I'm
You're
not a tether.
Nigerian. You're not you're Nigerian?
No. My parents are Jamaican.
Jamaican. There you go. All right, what's on your
Yeah.
mind, pattern?
No, yeah, I respect everything that FBA are doing in America. I feel like there should be something for us in the UK.
Yeah.
So my parents are Jamaican, but I'm born obviously in the UK. And I feel like UK black culture is different from Caribbean culture, African culture, and I feel like there should be a word that we can delineate from. I don't know. So I kind of look up to the FBA sort of, I don't want to say movement, but what you're doing in America, I feel like it's needed. So yeah.
So how would that, now over there, because I know a lot of people in the UK, they're watching the Renaissance movement for foundational Black Americans here. What are they saying over there in the UK about the foundational Black American delineation movement? How the family feeling over there?
You know what it is? A lot of Caribbean, African, they don't see the deeper meaning with FBA and kind of see what the positivity that it's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been watching your stuff for like a long ass time, so I kind of see the benefits of what it's doing. So, and a lot of kind of British mixed cultures here, kind of I'd say sides with I don't know. It's very mixed here because it's a mixed reaction to the FBA movement down here. So it's a mixed sort of thing. Like there's some people that understand it, and some people that don't understand it.
Right.
Some people that wanna take it negatively and just like kind of like combat it and say,
Right. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I get that because a lot of these spaces that's on TikTok, a lot of these cats who are whining about us delineating, a lot of them are in the UK. They're not even over here. So these British, Caribbeans, and Africans up there in Britain just whining about us nonstop. And I know that's not all of them, because I got some riders out there in Britain. But the haters, a lot of them are from Britain. Samantha, what's up, Samantha?
Hello. Thank you for having me.
How you doing? How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm located out of Massachusetts.
Okay.
So I agree with a lot because one of the topics I do want to see happen for you guys is reparations.
Yes.
Because I truly believe, because like our background's very similar. Like you guys have a foundation where you guys help free this country, and Haitians, we have a foundation where we help free our country and others as well.
Yeah.
And there is a lack of respect for both of our cultures.
Yeah.
And I always feel like if you guys get your reparation, it could start the movement for reparative justice for all Black people around the world. Especially in the Caribbean, you see all of the colonizations that's taken place. I love what's happening in Burkina Faso. So I just believe in that. I believe that once you establish, because I don't believe I should get reparations, but I feel like establishing your identity, establishing a pathway for reparations will truly allow other Black people to get justice all over the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Sam. I appreciate you, dear. All right. Let's get a couple of more folks in there. Throw them gifts up if y'all want it going. Y'all want me to keep going? What's that in? If y'all want me to keep going, y'all liking the vibe, y'all throw some gifts in here. Let me know if y'all want me to stay up in here and hit the hearts. Let's get up to 500K. We're at 400.
All right, so family, I think we're ready for the exchange. But before I do that exchange, Revenue, as Tariq pointed out, Revenue always thinks he's winning a debate with somebody. So Revenue called in yesterday, right? And he debated me on he debated on a couple of things. Yesterday he debated on whether we called ourselves in early 1800s African, predominantly, or something else. And I said, we definitely predominantly didn't call ourselves African. Oh, yes, we did. Yes, we did. And he named churches and things like that. I said, bro, we predominantly didn't call ourselves African. Yes, we did. So that's a debate, right? Then he debated me on people. We all came from the slave ships, all of us. Like it's kind of reverse debate that Tariq had, right? So he argues that we all came from the slave ships. So I said, okay, cool. But were there anybody here anybody in this country prior to us coming on slave ships? He agreed, yes. Because he said I took a poll, and the poll was about like where we come from. Like, did we come on slave ships or didn't? He said my poll read that most people voted that they didn't come on slave ships. So I'm like, okay, but if that was the result, why is it false? Why is it a false result? Like, how do you know these people came on slave ships? He said, and he kept coming with pseudoscience. And that's why I asked, I said, hey, were there people here that didn't come on slave ships? He said, yes. I said, were some of those people classified as black? He said, yes. I said, so why can't some of those people be in the poll, like in my chat? Oh, now I can look at people and tell whether they're FBA or indigenous. I said, you can? I said, what type of training did you receive? I'm gonna play it back for you, family. I said, what type of training did you receive that you can look at people and you can tell by looking at them if they're indigenous or foundation Black American? So he came with some pseudoscience stuff. So I said, well, damn. Well, guess what? Unfortunate for you, the people who took the poll, that was a blind poll. We don't know how anybody looked. And you said they were all lying. So you just debunked yourself. You didn't see one person that chose they didn't come on slave ships. You didn't see one person. All right. So now how are you determining that they're not indigenous? They're FBA. You just said you lied, but you said you can look at people and tell. But those people who selected that they didn't come on slave ships, you didn't see one of them, and you still determined they didn't come on slave ships. I meant that they did come on slave ships. Make that make sense. So anyway, the whole transcript, family, all of our exchange, I put it in AI, all of them. I put it in AI, the entire thing. And I said, hey, AI, judge all the arguments we had, including those right there. But I said, judge all of the arguments we had and tell the chat, I'm gonna read it to you guys. I'm gonna share my screen. I said, share with the chat who won. Did he win any argument that we had yesterday? Now, prior to that, he was just saying that he won most of our exchanges. So just yesterday, I said, all right, well, let's see who won just yesterday. Okay, so I'm gonna play a little bit of his audio, his bullshit about what he was talking, and then we're gonna skip to the results. So I'm gonna skim through it just to backdate, and then we're gonna get to the results. But this guy, he beats everybody in his mind. He beats Tariq Nasheed, he beats me. We'll see.
400K. If y'all want me to stay up in here and we chop it up, let's get some gifts and some hearts in here. Let's see what we're gonna do here. There you go. Shout out to the whale. All right, splash, splash, splash. There you go. I'm like, Pinky doll. Yes, yes, yes. Ice cream so good. Girl, thank you for the bear. Yes, yes, yes. Come on now. Let's get up to 500K likes. Let's get up to 500K likes. KO, thank you for the necklace. Placebo, thank you for the heart. Maximilia. Yes, indeed. All right, we're going to get some more folks up in here. Who is this person? Somebody named Bill Cosby. We're not doing that. Hold on. Who is this? Who's calling himself Bill Cosby? Hold on. How dare you call yourself Bill Cosby? Bill Cosby is a good friend of mine. We do not disrespect Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby is a rider. All right. We do not disrespect Dr. Bill Cosby. All right. Let me see who we got. Let's see who we got in the building. I'm going to try to get some new faces in here. Let me see. Let me see where we at. Study in Romania. What is that? All right. Somebody named Study in Romania put up a request. So let's see what's going on with that person. Let me see. Romania. What's up, Romania? Romania, what's happening? Okay, that person might not be up here then. All right. Let me get some more. Y'all raise your hand. Raise your hands. Family in the chat. Come on, let's get them likes up. Let's get up to 500K. We're almost at 500K. Let's get up to 500K within the next 5 minutes. We can do that. Let's get to 500K likes in the next 5 minutes. Shout out. Oh, thank you for the floaty thing. Respect. Thank you, Maximilia. Okay. This woman talking about look at her private video. We don't do that here. We don't do that. We're not doing that. We don't do OnlyFans promotion. We don't do that. All right. Let's get what's your name? Ree Mula? I think that's your name. What's your name? Reggie or Ree Mula?
My name is Regis, and it's an Instagram handle, Regimula.
There you go. What's up, real? How are you, Regis?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm Black American, family been there for hundreds of years. Okay, so I guess my thing was, I was traveling through South Africa, and Operation Dadula is a lot worse than anybody says FBA is, and it's crazy how much criticism that you get because people saying that you're leading something that you're not. It's just kind of like saying our lineage or not. But here in when I visited South Africa, they're kicking other Africans out.
Oh yeah. They ain't playing no games, especially the Nigerians.
And they're getting not just them, even the Zims, and the Zims right next door to them. They're saying that they don't want Zims speaking their language, and they're cosplaying them. All Zim singers and rappers need to go back to Zimbabwe, and they're getting violent. So I don't want to hear anything about FBA. Our thing is more about getting our reparations and our just due. We're not attacking Africans in the streets.
Right. Yeah, man, it's heavy, man. It's real heavy. Yeah, everybody protects their lineage. Everybody protects their ethnic group, and we're not supposed to do that. But no, we are. We're going to do that. We are going to do that. All right, let's get a couple more calls in here. We get a couple of more in here. Q City, hold on. Let's get Gia. Let's get Gia in the building. Let's get Gia. Where you at? I tried to let Gia up. Hold on. All these names are flipping around left and right. Hold on. These names are flipping around left and right. Okay. Let's see. Let's get Tanisha. Let's get Tanisha in here. All right. I was trying to get Gia, but something happened. Tanisha?
Hey, if you click the link, hop on the panel, come back on. Just wait. Don't click the link and think you're going to talk automatically. I got a show going on. I don't mind you talking, but wait your turn. Damn, man. Damn. I don't mind y'all joining the panel. Just wait until I call on you. Y'all got no damn patience. Call back in and wait, and I got you.
Hello?
Hey, Tanisha, how are you? You all right over there, Keisha? Tanisha? Man, but you over there, you choking on some chicken wings? You all right? Tanisha, are you okay, dear? Is a church deacon over there rubbing on your titties? What's going on, man?
Oh my goodness.
If you're trying to get your money on them, okay, let me let you get it out. Oh, y'all over there, it's all types of shit going on over there. Y'all doing braids, y'all doing massages, y'all barbecuing, y'all frying fish, y'all babysitting. What the hell y'all got going on over there? Y'all got a hood daycare. Y'all got like a little 24-hour swap meet. What are y'all doing over there?
Okay, well, go to AI, right? Go to AI and give a transcript of our debate and show where they said you won.
Ron, I called you the other day and I admit I said yes.
No,
AI
I'm
said
not
I
talking
was-
about that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You didn't listen to it again. You said because that's the one you would give me. I'm saying why don't you go to AI in all of our exchanges and ask who won?
I'll do that and I'll let AI be the judge.
Yeah.
So they could tell you that you 1 in 10 versus me.
Okay, okay. Well, we'll start with one. Okay, so he said AI is going to determine I'm 1 in 10 versus revenue. The worst debate on second worst. Mr. Docs is number 1. Yeah.
So they could tell you that you 1 in 10 versus me.
Okay, okay. Well, we'll start with one. Start with one. Give me the first win. Hey, bro, email me. I'll give you my phone number, and I could go live right away. Yo, please give me a full. Don't try to cherry pick what I said. I'm gonna find out the whole transcript. Give a complete dialogue where we disagree and put it in AI, and I guarantee you're gonna have 0 wins versus me, bro. I'm 17 years undefeated on the net for a reason, man. I beat well-known debaters like Captain Cesariak, Brother Polite, Eric Muhammad. I'm not gonna lose to a lightweight like you, Tether Dream, or the Doc guy. What's up? Hey, what's going on? You said because that's the one you would give me. I'm saying you gotta mute your back screen, Robinson. You gotta mute your back. You gotta mute the video in the back. Hey, what's going on?
I'll do that, and I'll let AI be the judge.
Hey, so caller, I gotta mute him. He's playing the video in the back. You gotta when you join the panel, you gotta mute the YouTube that we're playing live in the back, and then listen live from the Zoom. So just say I'm ready when you're ready to speak. Doc guy. I'm not gonna lose the DOCC, domestic off code coon guy. I'm not gonna lose to none of y'all, man.
I mean, Ron, you said boldly that we never refer to ourselves as African. We never refer to ourselves as African. Then I pointed out Martin Delaney, I pointed out Paul Cuffey, I pointed out the Free African School, the Free African Society,
Why don't you
the Free
go get
African
that then?
Organization.
Look, okay, so you got it.
Then you had to change your whole argument. Said, no, that was a minority thing.
Yeah. See, that's why people mute this guy, because he'd be lying. Selective memory, because he smokes. I don't smoke. Never smoked a day in my life. And I ain't judging. I'm just saying I got all my brain cells. All right. That's why my memory's so good. I don't do drugs. And that's why I have a clear, crisp memory. He can't go get that. He's going to go get that we collectively, I show you percentages that people call themselves like a handful of blacks, 4 or 5, possibly call themselves African something. Okay, so now this is a guy
That's a lie. They have whole organizations. Then you have
all right, so family, that's the first, y'all heard it yourselves. That's the first thing we debated collectively in America. Did we call ourselves African collectively, predominantly, or did we call ourselves something else? And I'm saying it wasn't African. He's saying it's African. That's a debate. Now we're gonna have AI judge that. Now, Robinson, are you ready? You're mute. Robinson, you ready? If the video's not playing in the background, you can unmute. So I want you to listen to all of our debate topics, myself and revenue. All right. So that was what Robinson. When you're ready to unmute yourself and talk, just let me know. Just say you're ready. But do it now before I start to play. Robinson, you called in. You want to talk? I'd rather you talk now before I get into the revenue thing. Because after that, I got to get into Tariq versus the Indigenous American about the slave ships. All right. Anyway, let me go. So y'all heard that clear. The debate between me and revenue is what did we call ourselves predominantly in the early 1800s? Was it African or was it something else? Okay. So we're going to talk about that. All right. Now, here's the other things he was talking about. It's crazy stuff. Why not just accept common facts? You're asking me just to accept common facts, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or did we call ourselves something else? And I'm saying it wasn't African.
Yeah, so
he's saying it's African. That's a debate.
Hey, Robinson, I gotta get rid of you in a second. Dude, you're not listening to me. I don't know if you smoked out. Dude, you gotta mute the YouTube video if you want to talk. Okay? Because I don't know if you're trolling, if you're serious, you want to have a conversation. But every time you unmute, you're playing the delayed live stream. You gotta mute the YouTube video and listen to the live from Zoom. So everybody in the chat, they're listening to a delayed version. When you call in the Zoom or the phone call, you're listening to the live without the delayed version. So you're all right. Okay, got it. There you go.
All right. Anyway, let me go. So yeah.
All right, all right. Look, just stay on mute then, man. Got it.
You shouldn't, debate the brother if it's common fact.
Debate what?
Because I was watching your show yesterday.
Okay. All
and
right,
you
so
kind
look,
of had a
so let's
problem with the elite
okay.
European culture, and I'm like, I
Oh
mean, you
no, no,
shouldn't
no.
really have a
Oh no, no, no,
problem
no.
if you
Did
deny
you
African
did
culture.
you did you did you hear everything? I said I had a problem with him subtracting black. See, that's the problem with you goofy tether. Dude, you're never ready for me. The whole thing was he's replacing black with this. He said Anglo-Saxon. Are you Anglo-Saxon?
No, no, you know what I
Okay,
identify. I identify as African.
okay, cool. He said he's not black. He said he is more aligned himself with Anglo-Saxon, and he said that we don't need black organizations and all this stuff. All we need is a few strong white people. Do you agree with that?
I mean, I'm not a African American, so I
Okay,
wouldn't. My opinion
me either.
shouldn't.
What? But both. Okay, then. Wait, he just said he identifies as African American. What? Hey, family, listen to this guy. He just said he identifies as African American. Then he said he's not. He said he's not black. He said he is more aligned himself with Anglo-Saxon. He's placing black. There you
You know
go.
what I
Listen. Okay.
identify. I identify as African.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So he just said, all right, whatever, right? He said he's not black. He said he is more aligned himself with Anglo-Saxon, and he said that we don't need black organizations and all that stuff. All we need is a few strong white people. Do you agree with that?
I mean, I'm not a African American, so I wouldn't.
Okay,
My
me
opinion
either.
shouldn't.
What? But both. Okay, then don't give an opinion. So is
What
it
you mean
how?
you're not African
Okay,
American?
you just started. You just started with an opinion on what he said, and now you're saying you don't want to give an opinion on what he said. See,
No, no,
that's
what? No,
goofy talk.
you asking me something that is irrelevant because I'm not African
No,
American.
then, dude, then what are you?
I'm a Jamaican American.
So why are you calling in a show that's sent? All right, Robinson, you ready now? Robinson,
Hello.
yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, how you doing?
Doing great, sir.
Um, I'm just came to listen and observe because personally, when I look at the picture, the guy with the hook nose and the no lips, he's not an original. I mean, it's obvious he's not the original with the hook nose and the no lips and the straight hair. I don't know why people are making it so difficult to understand what has already been written.
He's not
We're
he's not
already
original.
here.
Hold on, stop, slow down. So
Yes.
his kind never existed before. That look right there.
Oh, yeah, they came later. Let me explain something to you, my man.
Wait. Before I get the lesson, wait, I don't want a history lesson. I just want to know this. So when you say later, so who produced him? You say he came later. Who produced him? What combination of people?
They came from his, what's his name? Wait a minute. But anyway, Naaman was cursed with leprosy. And then his leprosy was passed on. And the guy that was passed on with the leprosy, his offspring will create what you see to the right, which is the ones with thin lips and hooked noses. That's their
All right.
main concept. I'm 67. When I was growing up, when I looked at TV, every time I seen somebody that they call black, if you go back and look at all the pictures, you will find that they all made sure that they had hooked noses and thin lips. Look at today's
No, I
newsmen.
agree with you. So let me
Yeah.
say this. So the thumbnail was not to represent an actual real representative of the indigenous blacks. I did that just for clickbait, just to get people, okay. So it's just a thumbnail. Like the thumbnail wasn't supposed to be accurate. It was purposely like when you think of indigenous people, the average thought would be that, like what you're saying, like that was the image. So this image was not to represent indigenous blacks that were here, that you know that some of us say we are. That wasn't there to properly represent them. That was just a thumbnail to draw people in to the conversation.
Okay. Well, see, I was just talking about history. Yesterday, I was just speaking on history, and when I seen U.S. history, that's the main thing I've been trying to say.
Yeah. So what I'm
Let me
saying
ask you,
is you should wait before we do that,
yeah,
because are you
FBA? Yes, sir. I'm
no
FBA
no
all
no
day.
not that. Are you interested in to hear the debate between Tariq Nasheed and the Indigenous Black on whether the slave ships came?
Yeah, I got
Okay,
no
yeah.
problem.
All right. Okay. So let me do that. So let me first, so I'm gonna need you to just probably be patient for about 10, 15 minutes. Let me first play the
But okay, but let
okay,
me
you
say
gotta
this.
listen. No, I'm not letting you say nothing. You gotta listen. I don't mind having this conversation. I'm just saying you're too early. So I was gonna play my exchange with revenue yesterday, and then I was gonna read the AI results of who won between me and revenue. And then after that, I was gonna play what you want to talk about, the indigenous blacks versus Tariq. Okay. So right now you're just a little too early. So just go on mute just for 10, 15 minutes, right? And listen to the revenue and or call back in. So I'm gonna do that debate first. And then I want to come back and revisit what you're talking about now. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
you called my name. That's why I didn't
Because you
just
clicked the damn link. That's why I called it. All right. Okay, so we got it. All right, so
okay.
let me play the revenue thing. And
Okay,
just go on
got
mute
you.
for like 10, 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna say unmute, then we can have this conference. All right, hold on one second.
Oh,
Entered on foundational Black American topics. If you can't give opinions on it,
Uh,
why are you
but,
calling it?
but because you're speaking on the African diaspora
Yeah,
and the
yeah. No,
Ma'afa.
no, no, no. I'm not. No, no, no. What he was talking about was America. See, you're quoting the guy, bro. Everything he said was
Hold on one
about
second.
America,
oh,
the United States of America. Okay. No, he said
Entered
no
on
diaspora stuff.
foundational
Everything he
Black
said
American
was
topics.
within this
If you
country,
can't give it,
within our jurisdiction. You got to make it make sense, guy.
Yeah, yeah, but I think his point is
Yeah, but
that he's
whatever
not
his point is,
African and the
okay.
slave trade never happened. So he just identifying
Well,
with
I didn't,
Americans.
I didn't hear him say the slave trade never happened. If he said that, I would have never even talked to him. Like, what's the point to even? Yeah, that's. But maybe I would now because Tariq Nasheed had that discussion, and that's funny because we're talking about that now, right? So we are gonna have that discussion. So I'm gonna first just play not the whole thing and not the whole exchange between me and Revenue, just the debate talking points, so y'all can see what we're arguing, and then when I give the AI judgment, it'll make sense. So just bear with me. Tariq coming next. And family, if you are FBA ADOS Freeman or Indigenous Black, I give all of you lineage wrench to make you a moderator. So if you are of the lineage, if you are Indigenous, you might want to make that known so I can give you a lineage wrench. That's not my hang up there. I
I
don't
mean,
go,
some of the people in your chat believe that they believe the slave trade
don't
never
matter.
happened.
But
They
guess what?
indigenous to America.
And guess what? They can believe Santa Claus is real. Okay, so this is the other talking point. So now the first one was, what did we call ourselves in the early 1800s? Predominantly, not just a few handful of people, like all of us collectively. Did we go by African or did we go by something else? That's the first debate. He says African, I say something else. The second debate now, he's going to argue that he can look at somebody and tell if they're FBA or a true indigenous black, somebody who's not mixed or come off a slave ship. So that's what he's going to say now. So that's the second argument. You'll hear it yourself, then we'll move on to the third. Long as people are in their own space and not in my space, it's fine. Okay,
In
it's
your chat,
fine.
you did a poll. You remember you did the poll and you asked them, do you believe you have and majority of people said no, we don't have African DNA. We're not African.
Were
We
they
don't descend
lying?
from African, huh?
Were they lying?
I mean, if you subscribe to science, then and peer review articles, then you
Yeah,
should
no,
know
but
that
what?
you're on average between
Oh,
70 to 90%.
average. So that means it leaves space for people that's actually to make. Okay, so on average, that means so when people you said 70, 90%. So that means that leaves room for people that is true for some people, right?
No,
Okay, so everybody has what you want to do that one?
every single black person that descend from slaves in America
Oh
descend from
no.
African
You
slaves.
said slaves in America, but these folks, according to you, are saying they didn't descend from slaves. See, you can't do that with me. According to you, these people are saying they didn't descend from slavery.
Yeah, they said they
Right?
don't descend
Okay.
from the transatlantic slave trade.
Right. And okay, and you're saying they did?
That's 1000% true. Yeah.
Okay, how do you know?
The slave records, the
No. How
cultural
do you know?
DNA.
Okay. So, family, I'm talking to a brick wall, bro. How do you know what they really are?
the DNA experts, the culture,
So there are no
slave
indigenous.
records.
Okay. So the dolls roll that's fake.
I mean, you had some that intermarry with Native
Right.
American, but that don't mean that their
And you
origin are
had
Native
okay,
American.
and you had some that didn't, right?
No, you have no black people that descend from Native Americans.
Wait. You keep saying black people.
Yeah, black people.
I'm asking you, is there such people called Native Americans?
Yeah,
Right. Okay. So if these or indigenous people, right? They're indigenous. So if these people are saying that they did not come from slave ships, and that means they're not black in a sense. I'm black, like the whole POAD, persons of African descent. If they saying that's not their background, how are you making it their background?
I'm not making it there. I'm not making it there. But the facts and the evidence is making it
Yeah.
their background, not
Okay.
me.
Okay. So if a person says that they're indigenous, right? Okay, and they're in America. So in America, we do got indigenous people, right? In America?
Yeah, but they're not black.
Right. Okay, cool. And if they did the poll, but if they're in my chat and they did a poll and they answered the poll honestly and said, hey, that's not me.
Yeah, they're
Now,
lying. They're promoting pseudoscience
so you're
ideology.
saying, okay, now watch this. You are, because you're saying you can prove they are black. And they're so listen to the question. A person is saying, I am indigenous American. I'm not black in the sense of POAD.
Yeah.
You're saying, I don't know you from Adam, but I'm saying you are black.
Essentially, what you're saying is that I'm assuming that they're black, but they could be Native American, Navajo,
Yeah,
or something like
whatever they
that.
said they were, right? A lot of people say from these tribes. So you're saying they're not. So when people make a claim, so how do you know? Now we're talking about the internet now, because you don't know anybody. So how do you differentiate when a person says they're from a tribe and they're not?
Well, I could I could look at them and tell they're not Native
You gotta
American.
look at shit. All right, so family, y'all heard the second argument. This is Revenue, who be trolling Tariq Nasheed. So his second argument is that he can look at an individual and tell if they're FBA or they're a true Native American or Indigenous American. So I read the chat. Somebody said that Native American and Indigenous American are the same thing. So go ahead and expound. Whoever said that, teach me, educate me. I'm not. That's why I keep saying both. I don't want to offend nobody. So explain the difference to me so I can use the right terminology. So I ain't got to keep saying both. So I won't use them interchangeably. All right. So somebody from the chat, let me know the difference between a Native American and an Indigenous American so I can use the proper terminology going forward. But you heard this guy claim. The second argument is that he can look at somebody and determine if they're FBA or indigenous or native. And I just said you cannot do that. So that's the second argument. So there's two arguments that AI is going to judge. If he can do this.
Well, I could look at them and tell they're not Native
You
American.
gotta look at shit. Okay, but you can't look at them. They did a poll and I can't see him and you can't see him. So you just messed up. You said you could
So
look at them. Wait. Let me just finish this. A poll was taken. It was a blind poll because we didn't see nobody. Right. And you said you got the eye of the tiger. You said you can see them and determine if they're FBA or they're truly within the tribe. Now you didn't see nobody who took the poll. So that means your expertise is not good, right? You didn't see nobody.
I mean, in that sense, if you want to roll with that, then yeah, you're correct, Ron. If you want
I
to, if that's
know.
what you want to
You
lean
said
your
so,
hat
yeah.
on,
That's an L. All right. So now let's go further because he talked about one more thing.
if you
Yo,
want to
you
lean your
said
hat
so.
on that, then yeah, you're
You said
correct.
so. Y'all
I
be
can't see
saying
their faces, so I don't know if they look like
now,
a typical Mexican, Native American,
right. So now let me give you this
enslaved
training.
African.
All right, now watch this. Watch this. What training did you take that you can look at a person and tell that they're foundation Black American or indigenous?
I'm using a methodology where if you're black in America, if you're phenotypically black in America, then I would assume
You will
logically
assume.
that you descend from slaves
Logically.
from
All
Africa.
right.
So
Look,
I don't
together.
think people from Papua
Okay.
New Guinea exist. I don't think a large
I'm sharing my
population of
screen.
Papua New Guinea exists in America.
Can one definitive? Okay. All right. So, it's hilarious. All right. Black Logic, what's going on?
What's going on,
I'm gonna
brother?
try. Peace. I'm gonna try to find revenue other arguments. Go ahead. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. I was trying to recall your question. Can you repeat it once more?
Which question?
Telling the difference between someone who is
Oh
indigenous
yeah,
and
yeah,
not.
yeah, 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 yeah. Because I keep using the two terms interchangeably, and from the chat they say they're not. In, there's a difference. So I want to know the difference so I can stop using the words interchangeably. The difference between a Native American and an Indigenous American. I want to say the right term for the right people.
Okay, yeah. There's a slight difference, but I can understand how it can be merged together because they are used interchangeably. Because I guess when you're referring to Native, especially when they referring to Native Americans who essentially went across the Bering Strait, and they're usually from the area and regions of Siberia and or ancient Mongolia, versus people from African ancestry that explored the world prior to that where people were talking about being Aboriginal or indigenous to the Americas already, because again, the belief, I guess, worldwide is, and I say the belief because, I mean, we do have factual information, according to fossils and evidence of skeletons, that the first human beings were found in Africa. So essentially, everybody has some sort of African genetics and or DNA. So again, the first explorers were Africans, and that when people stated that Aboriginals or indigenous people to the Americas were Black, again, to the social construct of America and how they divide people by race. So again, I don't think you're incorrect. They're really, again, they're somewhat interchangeable, but again, if you define them, they do merge themselves very, very similar.
Okay. Yeah, because the person in chat kind of made it seem like I'm using, how we get offended if you say African American in replace of Foundation Black American or just Black American. Like that's offensive to us who stand on Black Americans. To call us African Americans is like offensive. So we're going to correct you right away. So the person in chat was kind of implying that, like, hey, there's a difference. Don't use them interchangeably. Like almost like I'm being offensive. But you're saying
Right.
there's not really that much of a difference between the two terms.
Yeah, a lot of people are stemming away from Native because they're being associated with people that are red, or that
Like the
sort of
picture.
like the picture, so to speak.
Oh,
And I
okay.
think when we talk about being foundational Black Americans versus African, I even hear people stating, "Oh, why are you trying to ignore your Africanness or trying to join us?" And people don't understand. You don't call Puerto Ricans Afro-Puerto Ricans, even though they have African blood, they have African genetics, right? They're a mixture of Spaniards, they're a mix of Tainos, and they're a mix of Africans, but they had an ethnogenesis just as well as foundational Black Americans.
Yeah, great point. And Tariq, a crazy Puerto Rican called in Tariq thing not too long ago. I played yesterday, and he was, or the day before, and he was saying just that. He was saying, "Why are you guys afraid to embrace your Africanism and call yourself African?" While the guy admitted that he has basically the same genetic shit as us, like a little bit
Correct. I
African
mean, you
here,
don't go
a
to
little
Jamaica,
bit.
and you know why that is though? Is it because some nations are not Black nations? Like, why would a Jamaican call themselves Afro-Jamaican where the majority of the country is Afro? So that's why they try
Right.
to separate us by putting the word Afro. When I went to Brazil, you don't really hear people stating, someone is Afro-Brazilian, except for the white Brazilians that are the descendants of the Portuguese who
Oh, yeah.
colonized that society. So Black societies don't call them Afro anything. They're Trinidadian, they're Belizean, they're all these other things. But if you go to Colombia, then they're Afro-Colombian because they're trying to make a distinct division of who's white and who's Black and who stem from Africa versus Europe.
So let me ask you this. So the people who call themselves Indigenous American, do they also call themselves Black?
It depends. I mean, it really depends on how America has, put certain 500 federally
No, I'm
recognized
asking
tribes.
them.
Oh,
I'm talking
okay.
about the people who actually call themselves Indigenous. Like, do they also call themselves Black? Like, kind of like synonymous or interchangeably?
Again, that is where it gets somewhat confusion, because you do have foundational Black Americans who also call themselves indigenous because of their
Right.
American Indian lineage.
Okay.
Because when I took
Okay.
the DNA test, I had genetics from Africa. I had 8% European from different European countries, and I was like 5 or 6%, quote unquote, what they're labeled as Native American today. So I mean, again, we are a mixture of three major groups.
Yes, yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So I can just say, all right, I'm just trying to. What happens is I don't want to call them Black, and then they end up calling in, clicking the link. I ain't Black. I'm Indigenous. Look, whatever you are, I just want to call you that. If you're Black, I'm gonna call you Black. If you don't want to be called Black, I just call you Indigenous. Like, so whatever you want to be called, that's how I'm gonna,
I think that's the best way to go, because again, it can get very convoluted. Because even in my feeds, and I'm not trying to promote my channel on your channel, brother. I'm not trying to steal
Yeah, I
your
got it.
thunder. Yeah. But what that tends to do is they don't want to be classified as Black, because again, we get into the whole plebiscite babble of, that's a social construct. But I keep telling people that is the social contract that we live here in America. This is how people are divided. Either you're in or you're out. So you can go like my brother, who is quote unquote more, saying, all these other things. I don't want to get into that, because again, the conversation gets convoluted and messy. But
Yeah, I
nonetheless,
would love for them to call in, by the way, and go against like Black. I would love for somebody who hates the word Black to be applied to people, the Moors,
then you're
whoever.
gonna
I would
start
love
getting
for them
into
to
the
call in.
Black Laws
Yeah,
Dictionary,
look,
edition 13,
I'm with
14,
all, bro.
15.
Bro, I just featured a guy. Yeah, they love the fifth edition, page 492. I'm on hey, bro, the guy I had featured not too long ago, he was a Grand Sheik, and I know this guy personally. So I'm well familiar with the Moorish doctrine. And like I said, I would love for them to call in another show, another time, and I will have fun going over the whole Black thing with them.
Yeah, I
But
tend not
anyway,
to get into that, because again, in every great lie, there's some truth. And so that will confuse a lot of people. And in respect to your platform, brother, and this is just, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but stay on code. Don't try to get into the plebiscite Bible, because they will deflect arguments. They will use, Dane Calloway. They'll use other people who are in the Moorish science, community. And
yeah,
then it
but I'm
goes,
not gonna fall. I got what you're saying, and I say I don't fall. Like I'm just deal with the Moorish doctrine, so I'm not gonna let
okay,
them conflate. Ding. Now I don't do that because yeah, they want to do that. They want to create a
right.
big argument. No, Moorish doctrine only. And like I said, just for fun, just for live, whoever's into it, just to have fun, just to like troll and nothing too serious for me.
Respect.
Yeah, so I'm going to play the Kwame video. So this is the last his last major argument where yeah. I'm COVID coughing. Yeah, so I'm gonna play the last part of the Kwame thing. Then I'm gonna get into the Tariq versus the indigenous guy. So what's your position on that? Do you believe none of us came from slave ships, or do you think there's a mixture? Like some of us did, some of us didn't. What's your belief on that?
You asking me that question, or the other gentleman?
Now he hung up. I guess he's come call back when I talk about that. So I was asking you, like, what's your thoughts on that?
No, I believe roughly, because again, I've done some research regarding this, and again, not to promote my channel, but in some of my videos, I state that roughly, anywhere from 350,000 to 500,000 were brought over on a slave ship, but there were already Black people here. If you look at some of the works of
Okay,
Chase
we agreed.
McGee, or before 16, not before 69, but before Columbus, there were already factual documents, because again, Europeans at that time were great in documentation, that they were already Black, indigenous, like really Black people already in the Americas. And so when you kind of formulate how many people actually came over, because people say, why would the Europeans go all the way to Africa to get slaves if there were Black people already here? It's simple economics. I mean, you want more people so you can cultivate more crops, Indiegogo, sugar cane, cotton, etc. And it's free labor. The only thing you have to do is pay for the transportation, but I don't need it. I don't need to transport that many people. So it was roughly about 500,000, according to the research I've done. So again, there was already Black people in the Americas.
Yeah, I think the average SBA person will, the lineage will agree to that. That there was, I don't think we really argue against that too much.
Right.
But you have people that will argue against that, right? But I don't think that's our position like that.
That's when I kind of, again, me, I tend not to get into certain conversations with some people who may comment or chime in, because again, it get into that, plebiscite Bible, Moorish this, and it gets very, again, confusing and convoluted and messy, and I tend not to go that way.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, sometimes when it gets too disrespectful, what they want to be quiet. Yeah, you gotta boot them off or mute them or don't even engage. Yeah, so sometimes you're right. Sometimes it ain't worth 1 second, but other times I find that a learning moment to share information with the chat. 'Cause a lot of times I bring people on here and not to really talk to them, but to talk through them to the chat. Okay,
Gotcha.
so I look at, so they, like a presentation, you look at something, yeah, they're part of the presentation. Like you see this crazy guy.
I know that a lot of people in the space, they do a lot of debates. Like you're kind of doing a piece on Tariq Nasheed. He does a lot of debates. I tend not to debate, right? I tend to ask questions, and those questions are to either gain information, and if you are not being authentic, those questions will literally dismantle your talking points. They will dismantle your logic. They will dismantle any unfactual information that you have. I don't need a debate. I'll just ask questions. I'll answer your questions, but I'll also ask questions. And if you don't have any, documentation, evidence, or proof, then the debate doesn't even need to occur, because there's nothing to debate. So again, I'm very respectful, whoever I'm going against, because I really don't tend to do that, because I understand that people are emotionally charged, right? I try to tend in facts, in information, and evidence, because we can go back and forth where you're from Africa and you look like an African, and well, everybody's from Africa. Are they not? Oh, well, and then people start tap dancing.
Right. No, the 4T, they start tiptoeing, twisting, trolling, and then they tab out.
Exactly. Oh, and they crash out too. It need to be quadruple TC.
Right. I had Tether Dream come over here and crash all the way out when he can't get his way.
And my thing is, they don't have any, and I'll say this, and again, I'll shut up. They don't have any decorum. Because my thing is, if you really want to ask questions, and if you really want to have a civil debate, then is a back and forth, is a pause, and if you're going to interject, if you're going to chime in, it's certain decorum that you need to have. But again, you look at their countries, and I'm not trying to be disparaging in any form, but you look at their countries, and I've been to Kenya, I've been to Ghana, and I've been to South Africa. Very beautiful country, very nice people. But again, most of the Europeans, except by the French, and then you have economic colonialism in Africa with the Chinese, but I digress. They have already left Africa, and they left them to govern themselves, and they still can't get it right. But they'll come over here and they'll talk mad shit about us. Excuse my language.
You good? Are you on mute? Oh yeah, he's on mute. You muted yourself.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, brother. I was done. I didn't want to. Again, I don't want to.
Okay. Yeah.
Talk too much.
Okay. So I like to debate because kind of what you do, but it's a little bit of debate. Coming from Dr. Khalid Muhammad, I was a big supporter and fan of him, and I love the way he debated. And he always explained like our culture, like to the T. He'll say Black people are, we're very educational, but we also like to be entertained. Because he always explained when Phil Donahue, Sean Hannity would ask, well, why do you carry on like that? He'll say, hey, that's who we are as a people. We like to be educated, but at the same time entertained. So that's why he would educate, but do the foot shuffling for coons and his debate style, that's where we, and Tariq kind of take it from Dr. Khalid Muhammad. A lot of us that debate, it don't matter like what you debate. You could be Hebrew Israelite. A lot of them also, or whoever, a lot of them take the style of Dr. Khalid Muhammad because it really like grasped a lot of at that time, a lot of Black Americans like really take a hold to Dr. Khalid. Anybody who ever watched him before, I guarantee he's a fan of his. Anybody who's Black American.
Now,
is a fan
actually took debate in college, so I guess my form is asking questions, right? I'll answer yours. You may not agree, with some of the things I'm stating, but it's more like the way I debate is basically dismantling your logic, dismantling some of the emotional responses that people have. And it may not be as entertaining as you stated. And I get that. And I know that there's a form of learning through whether it be comedy and debate and debunking and a lot of things that people state. So I do understand that, but I guess I more so ask questions because again, when people don't, when their foundation of their logic is not standing on authenticity, they don't really know what to say. They don't really know how to combat that. Like you said, they crash out, they tap out.
Yeah, I wish I could ask questions, but fortunately, I have not got those. And like I tell my chat, hey, go get people that's like kind of like more smarter. So I can't ask questions because I know these guys don't research. I went that route before, and they can't answer one question. Matter of fact, when I debate, like how do you have an official debate and they don't ask you one question? Like because when I had ChatGPT judge the debate, decide the winner, they said one of the main reasons why they lost because they never had a question for me. Like how do you debate and don't have?
That's crazy.
Right. No questions. All right, so let me play a little bit of the Kwame last argument. That I'm gonna read the results of who won from AI, like judging a debate, like the formal way. So they're gonna look into the logical fallacies, who arguments were supported by facts and statistics, like who was wrong, misstated, all that, ad hominems. It's gonna judge all that and it's gonna tell you why people won and lost. So let me just play a little bit of Kwame last words on topic, and then I'll get to the results.
Identifying themselves as African and
No. I don't do what you do. I don't do 100% absolutionist. When I speak, I'm saying the consensus, the census. I'm saying the majority. I know, and if you got any brain cell in your head, all that smoking, you would know that in the 1800s, 1900s, that as a matter of fact, we didn't call ourselves. I mean, you could go Google when we start calling ourselves anything with African as a nation. So you keep saying little pockets of people. I'm saying nationwide, from California to New York, we were saying Negro and colored.
I'm using the most educated Black people in America. I'm not using
no. You use what we do. Go to AI, not educated people. That's your opinion. Because what polled it? How did you gauge that these are the most educated people? You just be giving yourself the most dumbest arguments.
because they're free Black people. They could read and write.
How did you gauge? No, I'm asking you a question. How did you gauge that these are anyway? All right. So anyway, like I said, we really don't go nowhere with this guy, but let's go to the results. Okay. Let's go to the results. Let's go to the Maury results. All right. So we're going to read it together. So here it says, here's a full judgment breakdown of your multi-topic debate, scored by topic and assessed by argument strength, historical accuracy, logical consistency, and rhetorical effectiveness. I'll judge each core topic with subpoints and then tally a total score at the end. So this is a real debate, right? Well, real debate rules. Okay, so topic one. What did most Black people in the early 1800s call themselves? My argument, majority of Black Americans in the 1800s identify as Negro or colored, especially in documentation, signage, legislation, and public references. African was used by only a minority and mostly free, educated Northern Blacks in small pockets. Cited examples: Negroes for sale, colored only signs, bathrooms, and used in legal documents, e.g. census, emancipation, era status. Okay, watch this. His argument: African was widely used, free African society, African Methodist Episcopal Church, AME, African school. Individuals like Paul Cuff, Richard Allen, and Martin Delany embraced the term. Claimed that African American existed long before 1980, Jesse Jackson, and was common in the 1800s. That's what he said. Judge's verdict: you won this topic. Me, Unbiased RON. Why? Why? While it's true that selected elite individuals use African in organizational or philosophical ways, the dominant self-identifier across the U.S., like I said, California to New York, among both free and enslaved blacks was Negro or color, as confirmed by census records, legal terminology, and public signage. Your argument recognized nuanced minority use of African and emphasized the broader historical reality. His argument misrepresented isolated elite uses as general consensus. Score unbiased. U revenue 0. Next one. Topic 2. Can you visually identify if someone is FBA or indigenous? That's what he said he can do. My argument, DNA, lineage, and documented evidence are required to determine ancestry. You argue, Unbiased RON, is logically invalid and pseudoscientific to claim you can visually identify someone's ancestry without seeing them or running genetic tests. You emphasize the contradiction of his poll, rejection while claiming visual certainty without seeing participants. Okay, hold on. His argument, claim he can see and look at people and determine whether they were indigenous or African descent. Later admitted he couldn't see poll respondents, but still insisted it was logical to assume phenotype and determines lineage. Judge's verdict. It says you overwhelmingly won this topic. Okay, reasoning. You exposed the contradiction in his reasoning, i.e., trusted visual cues while lacking visual evidence. His position was a classic example of pseudoscientific phenotype essentialism. You corner him into admitting he couldn't see the respondents of the poll, undercutting his entire visual argument. Unbiased, so far, you two, revenue 0. Topic 3. Here we go. Is African American federally recognized, and when did that begin? Your argument, African American wasn't a federally imposed label until the 20th century. Jesse Jackson helped popularize it in 1989. Unbiased, you emphasize that census forms are voluntary and let people self-identify. You challenge your opponent to provide a date when African American became a federal mandated, which he could not. His argument, claim African American was federally recognized in the 1980s, couldn't prove a federal statute, act, or census policy confirming this. Later attempted to pivot and said we are in 2025 to avoid having to back up his claim. Okay, what you think the verdict is, family? All right, so the verdict is you won this topic too. Reasoning. You demonstrated how the Census Bureau operates. Self-identified, not imposition. Your demand for factual proof, laws, policies revealed that he had no verifiable support. His evasive, we are in 2025, comeback was a weak deflection. Unbiased, you're up 3-0. Okay. Here we go. So DNA poll pseudoscience claims. Your argument pointed out the contradiction of him rejecting DNA evidence, but still claiming to know people's ancestry, emphasized that rejecting average percentages doesn't justify calling all respondents a non-African. His argument, disregard DNA studies showing average African admixture in Black Americans, claimed the poll results were valid because people said they were not African, equated self-belief with fact, claimed he could override science with common sense. You clearly won this point as well. Reasoning, his reasoning reflects motivated reasoning and confirmation bias. That's why I'm unbiased. Rejected DNA while holding contradictory claims based on vibes. You emphasize science, historical consensus, and the fallibility of personal belief unsupported by DNA. I'm up 4-0 revenue. All right, let's go here. Let's go back here. Topic 5, historical ethnonyms, free blacks, Africans, or color. Unbiased argues, cited common historical uses, free Negroes, colored troops, and legal language, color conventions, etc. Explain that contradiction of free Africans if African was only used by enslaved people. His argument pointed to a few institutions, free African society, and used that to claim African was widely used. Dumb. Judge's verdict, you won. Reasoning, you again distinguish between elite philosophical uses and widespread common use. Your examples from historical signs, documents, organizations, and census labels painted a fuller, consistent picture. I'm up 5-0 revenue. Final score, check it out. 5-0. Logical fallacies your opponent used. Anecdotal fallacy, using individuals or minority examples as representative of a whole group. Straw man, accuse you of saying blacks invented the term black, which you never said. Thank you. Appeal to ignorance, claim an African American was federally recognized without any proof. Confirmation bias, dismiss scientific evidence while relying on intuition and personal belief. False dichotomy, claim if people don't believe they're African, they must be native, ignores admixture and complexity. Final judgment, you dominated this debate. Interesting. With historical facts, logic, and consistency. Your opponent used shifting goalposts, vibes based on arguments, couldn't back his claims with source documentation. Your understanding of census data, ethnonym evolution, and the limits of phenotype identification were all strong. You stayed on topic and brought receipts. He brought distractions and contradictions. So revenue, there you go. So you could add that into your losses.
Fatality.
So there you go. So now I'm gonna play the Tariq. So did you want to comment on that, Black Logic, before I go to the Tariq debate?
Brother, everything that you just read, there's nothing that anyone can refute, and that's why he can't end. I mean, that was just total destruction.
Which everybody does to him. You dig? It's I do it, Tariq does it, Dan. Everybody debate this guy, cooks him, but he's delusional. He still thinks that he wins. All right, so let's go into the Tariq debate with the indigenous man, black man or man.
Accusatory gesticulating, sir. Just
You want to debate us, bro. You want to debate us, bro.
You do what?
Debate. Let's see if you're educated.
We're talking now. We're talking right now, sir. We're talking now.
You're muting me a whole lot.
Because you're babbling. You're not, every time you come up here, y'all come up here with this plebiscite babble, you never get to bring scholarship. All you're doing, you've been babbling nonstop, sir.
Do it then.
That's why I'm not going to subject my audience to old Negro.
Yeah.
I'm not going to subject them to plebiscite babble. Now start debunking. Now go. What are you debunking?
Well, the slave story. You know that part? Oh, in the 1600s, how was they able to bring you slaves when they had 50 million dying in Europe from the plagues? Why, they were alcoholics. They drank wine, grog, and ale. How were they able to come and transport people, but they couldn't wash or keep their own people the fuck alive?
Okay, slow down. We don't want to hear your practice monologue, all right? Because you didn't practice some bullshit. Okay, let's address that. Let's address it. Let's address what you just said, all right? 1619, yeah, England was down bad. They didn't have no money. They were pirates. They were robbing the Portuguese and the Spanish. And even the first captives that they got from Africa, they robbed them from a Portuguese ship coming from Angola. That's how they got those black folks over there in 1619 in Jamestown. I know the story, sir.
How did the Europeans pick sailors that didn't have the plagues? I mean, they had 50 million dying in Europe, not to mention 75 million before that and the 65 million in the 1300s. But yet they were capable of going to Africa and transporting hundreds of thousands of people. Make that make sense. They couldn't keep their own butts clean and their own people alive, but they were able to transport us. Is that what you're telling me?
Okay, no. So
Make
you're
this make
saying,
sense.
okay, so what you're saying, and let's forget about the number, because the number is speculative.
No, the number is not speculative.
It is speculative. Because
I can, if you would do a regular live, I can.
God damn.
All kinds of information.
Slow down. Okay. So do you think they didn't bring anybody over during slavery from Africa? Nobody. Is that what you're saying?
How? They couldn't even take care of their own butts in Europe. By the 1800s, over 200 million Europeans had passed away from plagues and diseases. So how are they doing this in the 1600s?
On a boat, sir. They did bring people on a
How?
boat.
They couldn't even keep their own butts alive. Their children died. 50% of their children died before the age of 5 in the 16th.
Okay, you're just babbling talking points. I've already explained.
Spitting out his.
No, nah. We know that. We know that they were. We know that. I know that they were down bad in Europe. I just told I just told you they were robbing the Spanish and the Portuguese.
That's not explaining how.
The Spanish and the Portuguese had a lot of money over here from getting gold. Why are you talking over me?
Stories, you're not answering how they
Yeah, I'm answering it now.
across the ocean, but yet they couldn't keep their own people alive in their country. Make that make sense.
So how did they get over? How did the English get over here then? What are you saying?
In 1865, we see them.
How did the English get over here?
In the 1800s, we see them, millions of them.
The English came over in the 1800s?
Yeah, they're on the Civil War medal, not us. You know.
So you're saying they didn't come over in the 1600s?
No.
So they didn't come over. They didn't come over here and try to start Roanoke?
No.
How?
How? In the 1500s, they lost 75 million Europeans. How were they able to pick people? Their idea of being a doctor was putting a leech on your body. They drank urine and took feces.
So they didn't come over in 1607 and try to start Jamestown?
No. How? If all those people are unaliving in Europe, they're drinking urine, they're taking feces baths.
So why are there documents? Why are there documents from Jamestown and court records and public records? Where are those documents from?
Oh, they're trust me, bros. Remember they committed massacres from 1866 to 1921, then rewrote the history. Remember that part?
The Black Logic. This is where when you said earlier, there's some people you won't date. I'm sorry, some people you won't debate. Okay, this is when I won't debate. When people don't want to rely on like documentation and things like that, that's where I check out. All right, so now what are we relying on now? Yeah, so at this point, whatever we relying on, because now I just can say anything now. I just can say, hey man, I can give you any date. Because I could just say what you said. Hey, that's a lie. That was fabricated. They rewrote that. And see, at that point, it goes nowhere. So I'm only
right. He's giving population numbers. Oh, there were 75 million people that died. Well, what was the population of Europe at the time? How many people migrated to Europe? Like, there's just so much conjecture there that's why I was like, it's hard to debate people who can just bring, statistics out of thin air without any actual proof. Like, so that's why I say it can get really messy. And believe me, Tariq has more patience than I do. I would just boot his ass out.
Like I would try a little bit. So, but here's the thing: if they give numbers at all, especially in the millions, okay. So now when I give numbers, they don't count because the white man's a liar. He rewrote it. But now you're giving white man numbers who rewrote it and is a liar. So, see, for me, you can't do that. If the source is bad, then the source is bad. Then neither one of us can use the source. It's either bad or trustable or verifiable. It can't work for you, but not work for me. Now that's when I'll let you go. All right, man. Have a good one. That's when I'll do that. But let me finish.
I don't understand why even, some of our people or even, continental Africans, they don't understand the greatness of their ancestry and how, thousands of years ago, that they were the first explorers and they went, you have all this evidence that Black people were in Asia prior to the common day Asians. You have all this proof, like even to the day, they would like to think that the, Mexicans or people who derive from Hispanic culture created these pyramids. No. How do you think you have some of the same architecture in Africa just as well in the Americas? Like people always talk about make that make sense. It makes sense.
Do I need to keep going? All the cities they destroyed, the 643 cities they destroyed here in America, that part. And then they turned around and wrote history and said, trust me, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, some of these people, you don't really debate them. They're not really trying to debate. Let's be very clear. These people are not trying to debate. These are plebeians. They're time-wasting damn trolls. These are people desperate for somebody to look at them. They're just wasting your damn time. Let's be very clear. A lot of these people, I disagree with you, and just all that babbling. They're attention deprived. They just want somebody to look at them and listen to them. That's all it is. They're here to waste your damn time. It's nothing but prison plebiscite babble. You understand? That's it. They just want to sit here and they see somebody who has a large audience. They wish they had it. So they know if they go up, people will at least debunk them. They listen, they know what they're saying is stupid. All right? What? Hold on. And that's another thing. You got.
Hold on, Golden Brown, you are funny. You said, why everything got to be a debate, and you be the main one debating in the chat. You are hilarious. The debating is a human thing. So let me answer that rhetorical question. Debating is a human thing, Golden Brown. Okay? If you're a human, humans been debating ever since we can communicate with each other. Okay, this is how we express feelings. This is how we communicate. You communicate by debating. Okay, because you got different experience than me. When you had your cable installed, Golden Brown, I'm sure you debated the goddamn service fee. Okay, when you go into a flea market, I'm sure you're debating how much you should pay or should not pay. If you have a product to sell or give or service somebody, you're going to debate your charges with somebody. Okay, life is a debate, Golden Brown. All right, everything you do in life, you're going to be debating. And I don't know what your definition of a debate is. Debate is simply exchanging ideas. You're listening as you speak, and you're responding to what you heard. And you demand the same from the person you're talking to. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So debating is a human thing. It's civil, and it's a great way to communicate. Both sides got to listen and respond to each other.
Their fellow plebiscite babblers who try to co-sign them. Like, right, what's this guy? He cooked. That's another thing. Fellow plebiscite babblers will sit here and listen to this obvious horse shit and then try to co-sign it because. All right. This is like high school. Again, TikTok is run like a high school. The lame kids sit off in this corner and then they co-sign each other's lame shit. You got another fool in who he cooked though. If you don't stop. I sat here and let this man talk. I didn't even debunk his horse shit. I just let this man run his mouth and he sounded like a complete damn goofy fool. He cooking though. You go ahead and tell him. That's lame Negro support. It's pretty sad. He's just saying stuff. Now, Jamestown didn't get. It's called. They went back and changed the records. They changed. Well, okay, all right. That's why these people sit up in their little rooms with 10 people for 20 hours, 30 hours, babbling to each other because nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. Okay? Good freaking grief. Man. What's up, Gabe? Okay, Gabe, hop on. We got some of the tethers coming in the room.
So somebody from the chat said, why not debate Sassu and Seti? Yeah, so sometimes chat, y'all gotta kind of sometimes be specific when you say why not. A lot of times we don't know who you're talking about. So you said Sassu and Seti, we know that's one name, but who is the other name? Because a lot of names been mentioned in the chat. You had Tariq Nasheed, you had Dan Calloway. There's a couple of names mentioned in the chat. So who should debate Sassu and Seti and why? But anyway, for me, Black Logic, I'm a little different. I don't have an opinion on Dan Calloway at all. Like I don't like, to me, whatever he's doing, he's doing whatever he's doing. Like that's not my lane at all. Zero. I don't really go into that lane at all. I'm only talking about this because this was something recent that I heard last night from Tariq Nasheed. So I said, let me weigh in on the slave ships from my research, right? A little bit of research I did, and it's either you accept the research or you don't. Like, and if you don't accept it, then I'm not we don't accept documented research that I'm not the best debate candidate for you. All right. So let me just share a little bit. Matter of fact, hold on. So we got a super chat in the building. I just seen it. Claude Neely, Francis Amos hit all problems are solved by questions and answers. So he's responding to you, Black Logic, about asking questions. And I agree with the question approach. Matter of fact, I've been sharing that. The reason why I didn't respond to you because that's my secret to win debates. So I don't want to encourage people like that's haters to take my strategy. But yeah, the question, the question. That's why I left it alone. But the question thing, that's how I went on my debates. This questions. I always got the questions they cannot answer. So and my pitch was always they can't give me a question I can't answer, but I always have the ones that they can't answer. That's why when I ask revenue, how do you determine who's FBA by a poll? Like you don't see nobody, because I contradict his logic. So he first said he could look at people and determine if the FBA or indigenous. I said, okay, but there's a poll. You didn't see one person. So how do you determine that way? See, so I
that's. I just want to interject very quickly about that because I don't know how people can do that. They showed this was about 3 to 5 years ago that they found someone that looked exactly like Kevin Hart. They look exactly like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Remember that? That wasn't AI. That's before all these AI videos came about. So we have identical twins in Africa. So the only way that we can basically make a difference is through, genealogy, through DNA, through records and documentation. So just by looking at somebody, not all Nigerians have a 6 forehead, right? Some of them have a regular, forehead like we do.
Right.
So again, we have some of the same phenotypes, but we have a very, very distinct, lineage. So we have to go by just more than one thing. Because if you can look at somebody and tell what they are, I was stationed in Korea for 4 years. I was stationed in Japan for 1 year, for a year. And there's Chinese over there. Sometimes you can't make out if it's Japanese, Korean, you probably can make out if somebody's Cambodian versus Korean. Yeah, you could probably make that out because they're a little darker in melanin. But a lot of even Asians don't even know what somebody is until they speak. So I couldn't tell from a distance, oh yeah, that dude over there, African. There's some that you can tell that are African, right? You can look at a Somalian, look at a Ethiopian, you can look at someone from Sudanese, like, okay, yeah, they're from the continent. But there are some people from West Africa, there are some people from even East Africa, like Eritrea. Some of them look like foundational Black Americans until, again, DNA, genealogy, lineage, documentation.
Right. Yeah, so that's why for me, I'm not gonna be the one, like I'm not revenue. I'm not gonna tell you what you're not. Like you're gonna tell me what you are, and if you contradict that later, then I'll start questioning what you are. You know what I mean? That's when I step in, like, hey, I don't think you are what you said you were. But if you say you never came on, your lineage never came from slave ship, then to me, that's what's up. And if you say it did, it's the same thing. So that's why I say from the chat, y'all gotta let me know if you're FBA or you're from the lineage, and then I give you a wrench because the wrench is for you and also supporters, riders. But somebody could, Black Logic, somebody could flat out lie and they got a wrench, but we end up knowing later because they end up turning into Teen Wolf by their comments. So I don't mind. So sometimes I give somebody a lineage wrench and they're not from the lineage, but I don't mind because we're going to find out by your language, how you comment on certain videos, certain conversations. We know, okay, nope. Because you said something Tuesday, you said something Friday, you said something next Tuesday. So now, no. Yeah, dude, you're not FBA. I got a guilty. I got a guilty suspicion about your ass that you're Teen Wolf. Like your wolfness is coming out.
Unfortunately, a lot of them come. Now, I'm not saying all because I would never say that because there are some people, whether it be the Black Brits, continental Africans, Caribbeans, that they totally respect us. They're on board with us. They want us to get our reparations. They want to get their reparations through CARICOM. They want to get their reparations through certain countries in Africa. So again, there are people who are like, hey, you should delineate because a lot of those tethers came over there being very disrespectful and undermining the FBA claim to justice and reparations. Now, that's one thing. The other thing is that we should never believe that they're stupid, right? Because they're very, very intelligent because they cosplay, they mimic, right? They really copycat us to a point where we don't know until we see a mother, a father, a grandfather, or a grandmother, or something's being said, or they're talking about eat goosey salads. Like, oh wait, wait, goosey salad. Wait, where's that at in FBA culture and lineage? So
Right,
again,
right.
they learn our lexicon, they learn our vernacular, they learn the way we walk, even the way we dress. Because back in the day, we was like, wait, ho, brother, you wearing high water jeans and penny loafers, and thick, socks. That okay, that's not FBA culture. We already know you from another land. Where are you from? But now they're getting so good at again mimicking and cosplaying and copying us. We still have some tactics that we could identify where they're from, but again, we cannot believe that they're stupid because they're getting better and eat like Hakeem Jeffries. A lot of people thought he was a foundational Black American. So again, they're getting better at it. So we have to be even more informed about some of the ways they go about doing this.
And what's crazy and disgusting is that the it you're talking about, they're getting better at it. The it family is pretending to be us. Like that, they're like, what kind of pride is that? Like you're getting better at pretending cosplay. Like their goal is to cosplay us. Where I'm at right now, a guy walked in, clearly not FBA to me, right? But he thinks he thinks he is. He thinks he's because I could tell what he's dressing. Like, dude, we don't look like that at all. Never. All right. But he think he did a good job of cosplaying, like as one of us. I'm looking like, dude, will you stop? But maybe a Hispanic and Chinese person might be fooled, but dude, your whole get up is non-FBA. That's just a hunch. That's my hunch. So like now to me, he got to now prove he's FBA. Like, but for me, he'll never be invited to an FBA circle. If it's up to me, what you got on, no. Like you got to prove now you're FBA for me. So we got our revenue popping up in the building.
Hey, peace, Ron. Peace to the
Going on, brother?
peace to the chat and the panel. I was listening to
Sure.
earlier to how you
Mhm.
erroneously try to structure the debate, and I'm listening to you saying that that Black immigrants try to cosplay Black Americans. In what way? Like, I don't think Black Americans have no traditional garment that they wear or anything. If you're talking about baseball caps and jeans, I mean that was not created by Black Americans. So I don't know what you mean by cosplaying.
Okay. So let me help you
May
out.
I? Okay.
Oh yeah, good. Okay. So well, I'll say this first. So did you watch the video I showed with I don't know if it's from Kenya, Nigeria, the guy who actually teaches, like he calls it hood. He calls it hood. Have you seen that video, by the way?
No, I'm not familiar with you talking about.
Okay. Let me get that for you. Let me get that for you. Let me go to my IG. 'Cause I had just sent it to a sister because she didn't believe me. All right. And I
But I'm
showed her
asking, like,
again.
what would you
Okay, just
consider
hold on, just hold
cosplaying?
on. I got it. I'm gonna give you a case in point. Okay, because you said that most likely doesn't happen, and you wanted to know something. So just let me give you something first, and then Black Logic will do the rest. I just want to share what I got, what I came across, and I'm gonna get your opinion on this. And then Black Logic is going to give you what he got.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah. Give me some examples with cosplaying. I mean, then first
Okay.
you have to define
Well,
this is your culture,
you
this is what
gotta
you
first. I
created.
don't gotta do that. I don't. You ask the question. And like you gotta first hear the response, and then you can critique the response. But you can't start off now just straw manning me and automatically know where I'm going. And yeah, I
No,
haven't even say.
I'm just,
Yeah. Well, just wait for the response first, and then you can do all that extra stuff. There we
just a
go.
bulletin point.
Okay. All right. So let's start you with this right here.
Now in hood, the pronunciation was good. But then if I say, bro, you tripping, dog? My tone and my voice completely brings out a different kind of meaning for this specific phrase. Now you was tripping, dog. You tripping, dog. Yeah. Yeah, boy. Run me my hood. This is the most requested.
Oh, USA flag hood. Okay, cool. All right. So that's my example. And I'm gonna let Black Logic give you his. Go ahead, Black Logic.
Well, he did say something. I saw somebody wrote in the chat about blue jeans. I'm not too familiar with Foundation of Black American Trading blue jeans. I just don't know that part, but I would definitely say that we curated, and some people will allude, if they are Latino, that we created the zoot suit. And also the way, because that kind of derived within jazz culture, and then Latinos kind of mimic that. And that's a whole nother, conversation about who created zoot suits. But if you look at historical references, we created the zoot suits within the jazz culture. And then when we look at streetwear and the oversized clothing, we made that very popular. So it's not necessarily clothing items like kente cloth or traditional, African garments that they have in all the different African countries. It's more so the way that we wear clothes. We wear them very, very different than any other culture. And you can see people in Africa mimic that, whether it be, which I don't really do myself, drooping of the pants, certain types of apparel that we wear. I think, what's the popular brand that people are wearing now? I mean, back in my day, it was like Red Monkey. I know it's not Red Monkey no more. They're wearing some other expensive stuff, but it's the way that we wear our clothes. 10, 20 years ago, when Africans came from the continent, as well as Caribbeans, we automatically knew they were from a different place. It's because the way that they wore their clothes. They can have designer clothes, but they didn't wear them in the same fashion, in the same way. When we look at logomania, the way that we use logos within our culture to display fashion. You look at FUBU, you look at the way how Versace put a lot of their logos within their shirts and jeans. That came from Black Americans. They wasn't doing that. I forgot the gentleman's name who inspired that. I think he's still in the fashion world, no less. But we have to look at how we did that, like the Black dandy, which, that was very impeccable and sharp. It dating back centuries, that foundation.
Pardon, are you referring to Dapper? Are you referring to Dapper Dan?
I'm talking about the dress of wear. So again, if you want to talk about different clothing that was created, I'm not going to get into debate about that. I'm basically stating the way that we wear our clothing.
Okay, I thought y'all was referring to, you created certain clothings and their cosplaying. As far as
when was that said?
Huh?
When was that said?
Can you say that? Can you repeat that again?
I said, when was that said? Or did you just allude and assume that?
Oh, I understand your point. I just thought that's what you guys was alluding to. That
so
we created.
It's called a straw man.
For clarity,
that's a straw man.
You should ask questions instead of assuming. Just ask questions next time.
Okay, yeah, pardon. And as far as Ebonics go, Ebonics is English based, and I don't think Black Americans
have you ever heard of? Have you heard? I got it. Wait, no, I gotta stop you. You're gonna play stupid. So AAVE is something made up that doesn't exist.
I just said Ebonics derived from English, so of course I'm familiar with African American.
Okay. So hold on, wait. All right, I got it. Okay, so it's the way we use the English. That's why, Black Logic, we'll say you're acting white. The way you use your English. And you pronouncing, hello, sir. So hypothetically, all that, your nose, all that, they got to hold the nose when they speak. When we speak, we hold our nose. Like, so we'll say, hey, man, why you cooning? Like, so it's not about pronouncing every syllable and every thing correctly. It's holding your nose and changing your voice. We got a naturally deep voice compared to Caucasian counterparts. They usually got the high pitch type voice. So It's how you say things and what tone you use, right? So for us to purposely take off the hard R on certain things, to purposely not pronounce things all the way out. All right. That's what we added to. So when a white person starts saying it like that, we know we can say quote unquote, or they say amongst themselves, quote unquote, you're acting black. So when anybody else comes to this language, I know for a fact from studying Greek, studying Spanish, I know for a fact, and you study these and studying English, I know for a fact. When you study these things, they teach you the proper way, the formal way. You don't learn the informal way, English, Spanish, or Greek. You learn the proper way. So when people come over here and they don't speak proper Spanish or proper English, you are purposely speaking like the natives of those countries, the informal language. Like again, vosotros. That's taught in. You learn Spanish, you're gonna learn that. If you don't ever say vosotros, you hear that terminology, that means you purposely went away from the books and you learned from the native speaking people. Same thing with us. We use a lot of double negative. English language teaches against double negatives. Spanish, you could use double negatives. In Greek, you could use double negatives. But English, that's highly taboo. That's not recommended. That's called bad grammar. We use double negatives all the time, purposely. You dig? So when somebody come and speak English, that's not from this country natively, a foreigner, and you're using double negatives or speaking like us, you are literally speaking like us. You're taking on our ways, culture, and things like that. What you got there?
I mean, Ebonics is derived from African grammatical system and syntax, and
All right, okay, all right, okay. I'll mute you. I got time for that. That's what I'm trying to say, family. And now, hey, Black Logic. That's what I'm saying. When we're having a conversation, sometimes I'll be entertained, and I'll entertain you, but other times I don't want to do that. Okay. Now he want to bring me to Ebonics, and well, in Africa, bro, the word Ebonics in Africa probably means something else, right? That got nothing to do with us. We're saying
It might
the
mean
way
gourmet bush meat.
right. So he's talking about some stop. I just got to charge it in bed. I got to charge it. But what I'm saying is, what he's saying is like nothing to do with what we just said. He just dismissed everything he said and said something else. Now look, if I put that in Google, if I put that in Chat GPT or Google AI, it's going to say he just shit the goalposts. Like he spoke to nothing we said. It's meant nothing to him. And he's going somewhere totally in Africa about their Ebonics. We're not saying we made up Ebonics, man. I just said native Spanish people, they speak an informal version of Spanish, a Spain Spanish. That could be called Ebonics. So you hear Dominican or Puerto Rican or Mexican, they're not speaking formal Spanish. They're not speaking formal Spain Spanish. They're not saying vosotros. Okay? They're speaking their slang version of Spain Spanish. So to listen to what we said and then go to the technicality, well, Ebonics, we never claimed we made up Ebonics.
I'm just showing how the influence go both ways.
All right. Well, all right. Well, you know what, Matt, look, I'm getting off soon. Revenue, we'll talk later. We'll talk later. All right. Yeah. Hey, Black Logic, I need you by mistake. That was for him. Yeah, I don't even want to do that. As a matter of fact, family, I really don't even want to explain his first question to a large audience of FBAs, right? And people who call themselves indigenous. Now, if you guys were foreigners largely in here, then I would entertain that. But Black Logic, I just feel like I was speaking to like the choir. You know, if I go to explain how we're different, like I think we all know how we're different and what we brought, like what's black. I just feel like that's just a bad waste of time for me to tell my lineage on what we are. That's like already understood. Good job.
It's basic disrespect in my opinion, because anytime that someone comes up with a question and again you give factual information to that question where it can't not be debunked, right? It can only be argued, but it can't be debunked. If you notice, they just deflect and they switch to something else. It went from clothing, and then when I called out how we're very trending with clothing, how Dapper Dan influenced, logos being inside of, where Versace and all these other things, how we wear all these, brands and how we wear our clothing. Then he went to, well, Ebonics. And then it'd be another thing. Because again, these are very circular conversations that many FBAs have debated and have been over many thousands of times. And again, it's just time wasting tactics, but in all, it's just being disrespectful, because we wouldn't have these conversations if you guys went, and I'm not stating that all of them should. I want to be disrespectful to those who are not tethers, but they went back to their country with all their degrees and all their success here in America, where they're dropping off DoorDash or Uber, or they have a six-figure job in corporate America. They just go back and take that knowledge, experience, and skills and build up their own countries. But no, they want to stay around us because of what our forefathers have done and built the foundation and trying to get equity, equality, and justice, and they want to make sure they reap the benefits of their struggle bus. So I get it. I mean, they're just being disrespectful and they're just wasting our time, and we're giving somewhat energy. So that's why I say, like, I'll ask questions as part of my form of debate, because it'll end a lot quicker, because they just want to keep going back and forth. And when they can't, they start being very disrespectful, calling you names, calling you slave babies, all these other, disparaging terms toward us. And that's where it gets. It gets very demonic. It gets very evil, because this is a form of envy and jealousy on some of them. Because again, I always have to put a disclaimer out on social media, because you'll have people like, why are you talking about all Caribbean, all Africans, and not like that? Because again, that's the part, and I hate to use this term because this is a data point from white supremacy. A lot of them, you kind of deal with, a low IQ, and that's fine, or they're ignorant to the fact.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That's why I pick and choose with revenue. I pick and choose some topics, and other topics I will argue with them longer, right? And I have fun. I believe, it's content. It's good for content. But topics like we just did, I just feel like you said, he just going to do something else and something else and something else. We influence both ways. I mean, first of all, whatever African influence that we supposedly express, most of it is indirect. Like it's unconscious. Like see, that's a big difference. We're saying people purposely are looking like us, talking like us, and behaving like us. It's pure conscious. It's pure direct influence. You talking about a drum, like, see, going back to that, hip hop, drums, the drums of Africa. Well, shit, some of us didn't know there's a drum in Africa. You feel me? We some of us believe Africa is just a forest or a jungle. Drums? Right. Hey, so it goes to that. Well, we're influenced both ways. How? Give us a conscious effort that we see, like, for example, the dashikis. Yeah, that was conscious. Okay, we went over there and bought some dashiki. That's a conscious. We consciously, but then we dropped it right away. Gone. It happened for a summer, gone. No, nobody's wearing dashikis now and ever on. So, like, that's just a bad comparison. Like, jeans were created by this, so wearing jeans, we're not copying you. Right. I understand. Yes, I know Air Force Ones. Like, that's just another sneaker, like all the other sneakers, right? But just so happened that you guys buy Air Force Ones more than any other sneaker like us, and just so happened you buy Jordans more than okay. And just so happened you wear your hat low. Just so happened the guy on the screen had a wave cap. It just so happened that all things you could put in your head, you buy a wave cap. Yeah, okay. And when you wear your hat backwards, now you're wearing snapbacks. Now you're not wearing snapbacks. Now you're wearing retros. It just so happened that everything you choose to do, it's like a delayed reaction of what we already doing. Like even the cars we buy and how we hook them up and all that, it just so happened that you just do everything we do after we do it. I got it.
I mean, the dominant society comes to Black America because we make everything hot. That's if they can't sell a soda, we gonna need some Black people to promote this Sprite soda, this Mountain Dew.
Right.
They always
Popeye's
come
chicken, all that stuff.
These Nikes ain't selling, so we need some Black people, because we're going to dress it up differently. That's why if you look at Nike now, Nike have increased the amount of Black people they're hired, because they're like, hey, what's the consensus of the people out there? How would they wear this? Oh, well, you might want to put a stripe here, make it a little more designer, because there are some people who want to be very explicit and braggadocious and outlandish with their colors. Then there are some Black people who want to be subtle, so we don't need all those designs. That's how all these brands you'll see in these marketing and advertising sectors, that they have a core group of Black people, because again, Black people just don't encourage other Black people to wear, shoes and clothing the way they do. We encourage white people and Asian people and Hispanic people. They're dressing all like us. That's why people say, and I digress, we are the culture. And that's not just about sports, music, and even clothing. Look at all the inventions that we made. I'm not going to even go into that because we already know.
Right. Speaking to the choir, let me just give Claude Neely, Francis, Amos another shout out. There's love, $10. He said paint is available for everybody. He said, but an artist is an artist by the way he uses the paint on canvas. FBA are the artists of the world. Right. So, but that's his way. So he purposely, like a mad scientist, concoct just different ways to undermine like one of our strong talking points, whether it's our AAVE or our influence culture. Like he concoct, okay, let me throw a wrinkle. Like he can't debunk it. So that's why I call these guys the gotchas, right? I call all of them the gotchas. So I got terminology all of them. So we know tether, we know suspected white supremacists, and we got a new one, DOCC, domestic off code coon. And all three of them, they all could be gotchas, right? I call them gotchas. They have no real argument, no real nothing, no real debunk. They just want to add a wrinkle into one of our talking points. And that wrinkle, let's say if they get us with the wrinkle, it don't undermine, it don't debunk. What do you want? Yeah. So it doesn't debunk anything. It just causes confusion for a hot second. And they're cool with that. So what he does is he just concocts witchcraft concoctions, and he's a witch. And I'm being funny, but he's a witch. He got a pot in his basement. He got boots in the pot, turtles in the pot, and all he's trying to do is come up with concoctions how to throw a wrinkle in one of our major talking points. That's all. Family, if you haven't already, subscribe. You definitely didn't like, but like on the way out, notification bell. Thanks for the super chat donation. Anybody, if they want to, they can send a cash app during live, after live, before live, $1, small dollar, or not. That's not required, but requirement is liking, subscribing, and notification bell. So Black Logic, do you want to close out with anything? I'm gonna close out and probably go live again a little later, like 4 or 5. I gotta eat.
I'll just tell everybody to support your channel, man. Ron FBA. I didn't try to come on and steal your thunder. Just want to have a good, conversation with your brother. Very knowledgeable, and I appreciate your work, man.
Yeah, I appreciate the contribution. Then, what's your channel? Because I heard you say you got a channel.
My channel is Black Logic.
Okay.
Yep, right there on YouTube, and yep, that's it.
All right, well, I appreciate you. So check out some information you did, subscribe, tune in. So I appreciate you adding to the live, making it cool where I ain't gotta do all the talking and debunking people like Revenue. So I'll be live 4 or 5, maybe earlier, but definitely around 4 or 5. I just gotta do a little bit cleaning, eating, and I know the vibes. So like, subscribe, notification bell. Peace, Black Logic, family, the lineage. Yeah. I might leave on let me leave because the family be liking when I leave with an intro song. So hold on, let me throw some intro songs in there real fast. I'm not gonna leave just yet. The family said, hey, when you leave, throw some intro songs. All right, so I got some intros. Let's start with this one.
We fight, we really fight. From the reality wars, civil wars, rising around, once but little on the rise. We fight, we really fight. We fight, we really fight. From the revolutionary wars, civil wars, it's about rights, but little on the rise. We fight, we really fight. We fight, we really fight. From the revolutionary wars, civil wars, was about rights, but living our rights. We fight, we really fight. If it's all love, then why did the diaspora war? If it's all love, then why isn't it love you're asking for? If it's all love, then why aren't you practicing it more and more? If it's all love, And we're asking you, I like it more and more. We fight, we really fight. From the revolutionary war, civil wars was about rights, we're living our rights. We fight, we really fight. We fight, we really fight. From the revolutionary war, civil wars was about rights, we're living our rights. We fight, we really fight. If it's all love, then why did they ask for a war? If it's all love, then why isn't it love you're asking for? If it's all love, then why aren't you practicing it more and more? If it's all love, then we're asking you, I like it more and more. If it's all love, then why did I ask for a war? If it's all love, then why isn't it love you're asking for? If it's all love, then why aren't you practicing it more and more? If it's all love, then we're asking you, I like it more and more. We fight, we really fight. From the revolutionary war, civil wars was about rights, we're living our rights. We fight, we really fight. If it's all love, then why did I ask for a war? If it's all love, then why isn't it love you're asking for? If it's all love, then why aren't you more and more? Then we're asking you, I like it more and more.
That show me subscribe.
Make no mistake, we're the only black people and y'all the only eat rat, eat cat people. You ain't black, you ain't that. Matter of fact, your black is repo, I'm taking it back. Cause y'all making it whack, faking jacks, y'all from the slave, raiding the tax. Bitch, we built the foundation, our innovations were groundbreaking. You ain't wanna get down, now you're around, hating, faking, with the linear in and out, the ground shaking. Someone say, FBI, we don't run away. We stay, we slay, we pray, we say, Someone say, FBI, we don't run away. We stay, we slay, we pray, we say, Make no mistake, we're the only black people and y'all the only eat rat, eat cat people. You ain't black, you ain't that. Matter of fact, your black is repo, I'm taking it back. Cause y'all making it whack, faking jacks, y'all from the slave, raiding the tax. Breaks, pause, pause. We built the foundation, our innovations were groundbreaking. Y'all ain't wanna get down, now you're around, hating, faking, with the linear eating, now the ground shaking. Someone say, FBA, we don't run away. We stay, we slay, we pray, we say, Someone say, FBA, we don't run away. We stay, we slay, we pray, we say, reparations are lineage based, not your image erased. No different than carrot cones, so you could keep your African and run somewhere else with your marathon. Laugh now, cry later, cause we gonna laugh when you cry at the gator. Alligator, Alcatraz, there's no soul leader. The code is the leader, there's no soul leader. The code is the leader. Subscribe to FBA News and Updates, yeah, yeah, yeah. Subscribe to FBA News and Updates, yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard tethers flock together, so if you want with a rock, then they'll drop together. Why cosplay? Accept your own and be yourself. When you're left alone, you can feed yourself. There's no soul leader. The code is the leader. There's no soul leader. The code is the leader. There's no soul leader. We gatekeeping the culture. These gates seeking vultures. Got the colors, so someone gotta hold the line, and somebody gotta hold the signs. No coons, no tethers, no room for white supremacists. We fight, we got it. Mayweather, Mike Tyson. We fight, they take flight. They got Spirit, Delta, U.S. Airlines, messed up airlines. Alligator, Alcatraz. There's no soul leader. There's no soul leader. Say it with me, family. There's no soul leader. There's no soul leader. There's no soul leader. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to like and subscribe. I heard tethers flock together. So if you hit one with a rock, then they'll drive together. Why cosplay? Accept your own and be yourself. When you're left alone, you can feed yourself. There's no soul leader. Cold as a leader. There's no soul leader. Cold as a leader. There's no soul leader. Cold as a leader. There's no soul leader. Subscribe, FBA News Updates. Subscribe. I pledge allegiance to the code that my soul won't rest until I get what's owed. Oh, I pledge allegiance to the code that my soul won't rest until I get what's owed. Oh, may Africa reap what they sow, so Africa wants to keep what they sow. No, no, no. You showed us, you told us, bye, bye, bye. You owe us and I ain't forget, I ain't forgive. I'll fight for my lineage as long as I live. Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, Rosa Parks, Philip Randolph, and Dr. King. I do it for them, I do it for her, I do it for him. We don't flee, we don't flee, we don't flee, we stay. I pledge allegiance to the code that my soul won't rest until I get what's owed. Oh, I pledge allegiance to the code that my soul won't rest until I get what's owed. Oh, I pledge allegiance to the code that my soul won't rest until I get what's owed. Oh, I pledge allegiance to the code that my soul won't rest until I get what's owed. Oh, may Africa reap what they sow, so Africa wants to keep what they sow. No, no, no. You sold us, you told us, bye, bye, bye. You owe us and I ain't forget, I ain't forget. I'll fight for my lineage as long as I live. Harriet Tubman, Freddie Douglass, Rosa Parks, Philip Randolph, and Dr. King. I do it for them, I do it for her, I do it for him. We don't flee, we don't flee, we don't flee, we stay. I pledge allegiance to the code that my soul won't rest until I get what's owed. Oh, I pledge allegiance to the code that my soul won't rest until I get what's owed. Oh, bye bye the Negro, bye the color, bye bye African American. Minorities and people of color. Don't cry, no, don't cry, found out we're one with our lineage and one with each other. Bye bye the Negro, bye the color, bye bye the African American. Minorities and people of color. Don't cry, no, don't cry, found out we're one with our lineage and one with each other. Black represents the lineage, black represent experience, black power, black Panthers, black Wall Street, black man, black woman, black family, black banks, black millionaires, black history. Black represents the lineage, black represent experience, black power, black Panthers, black Wall Street, black man, black woman, black family, black banks, black millionaires, black history. Bye bye the Negro, bye the color, bye bye the African American. Minorities and people of color. Don't cry now, don't cry, found out we're one with our lineage and one with each other. Bye bye the Negro, bye the color, bye bye the African American. Minorities and people of color. Don't cry now, don't cry, found out we're one with our lineage and one with each other. Be Aries and it's be Aries and it's body Negro, body color, bye the African American. Minorities and people of color. Don't cry now, don't cry, foul now. That we're one with our lineage and one with each other. Black represents a lineage.
Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. 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 Say it loud, I'm not ashamed of being black. Black Panthers, Black Wall Street, Black power, Black love, Black man, Black woman, the Black dollar, Black love. I'm not African, I've never been to Africa. I'm never going to Africa, no ancestor from Africa. We're Black American, but don't forget the foundation of say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. 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 Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud.
We have to start supporting ourselves. We have to add value to our content. and our voices.
Hey, hey, haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me your own, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really in my they done. Cash app, $sign Unbiased RON. Hey, 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 haters gone, hate supporters done it. Hey, 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 haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me your own, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really in my they done. Cash app, $sign Unbiased RON. I'm really real one of them. I'm really him, I'm really out here standing on 10. Like and subscribe, thumbs up the video. I'm really real one of them. I'm really him, I'm really out here standing on 10. Like and subscribe, thumbs up the video. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support your own, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really in my they down. Cash app, $sign Unbiased RON. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me your own, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really in my they down. Cash app, $sign Unbiased RON. I'm really real one of them. I'm really him, I'm really out here standing on 10. Like and subscribe, thumbs up the video. I'm really real one of them. I'm really him, I'm really out here standing on 10. Like and subscribe, thumbs up the video. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me your own, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really him, but they dumb. Cash app, $sign Unbiased RON. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me your own, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really him, but they dumb. Cash app, $sign Unbiased RON. Please don't hate on it. Please support on it, on it. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really him, or they dumb. Cash app, $sign Unbiased RON. Cash app, $sign Unbiased RON. Cash app, $sign Unbiased RON. I'm really real one of them ones that they dumb. Thumbs up, subscribe, cash app, $sign Unbiased RON.